Welcome back, everybody. This episode, we're going to cover World Shoot. I'm going to have on some different guests that were at World Shoot. We're going to talk about it, talk about the experience. Hope you can hear me all right. Finally stopped being poor. Got some of these nice AirPods. So hopefully the audio is coming through crisp and there's no lag on y'all's end. But yeah, this should be a fun one. So basically, World Shoot just happened, and this is going to be just a total recap of the whole thing. So I've got some guests that are going to be joining that were there, and we're going to hear their experiences, how they felt about it, how they thought the match was, how they think it could be better in the future, everything like that. But should be pretty good. I see a couple of them just jumped in, so they'll be popping by any minute. I am glad to be home. It is nice to sleep in my own bed. I will say the mattresses in Thailand are not up to par, even at the nice hotels. So, yes, I have been busy. Appreciate it. Let's see here. Now we got a few people in. Let's see who we can get to pop in.
What's up, brother? How you doing, man?
What's up, dude? I'm good, man. Look at this. We got
How you doing,
the
brother?
senior team guy in here,
Glad to be
Valmadero.
home. Oh my God, dude.
Oh,
It was fun
I'm
while we
good,
were
man.
there.
I'm good. I'm glad to be home. Are you glad to be home?
Man, that
Yeah.
trip back, I thought we were never gonna make it, dude. It seemed like it took forever.
Honestly, man, for me, the trip there took forever. You know, the wait to get
Really?
there, but coming home, dude, I felt like it flew by. I don't know if it's because I hadn't slept, because the night before I left,
Yeah.
I was in Bangkok with Christian and the Dylan Precision guys, and we were up pretty
Hey,
late, and
you know
then
what,
got a
dude?
couple hours of sleep,
I
jumped
was
on the
the
plane,
first
and
one to go
dude,
through customs.
it flew
The
by.
first one. So we left the hotel at
Wh-
2 in the
Yeah,
morning.
because you left
Okay.
you left
We got
shit the
there at
night of the
3:30,
awards.
and you know Manolo, man, he's going off on me. I don't know why you get these flights. You're crazy all the time, blah, 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 blah. So when we got there, I was the test pilot, dude. I'm going to be honest with you. These guys didn't know what they were doing. After that, dude, my bag, they destroyed my bag. I thought they were going to cut it open. And you know why? Two 38
Yeah, because
super comps. I'm not even shooting
you had
38
one
super
round.
comp anymore. I shoot 9, right? Two 38 super comps. They were all green, all messed up, fell behind the wheel well. And I'm like in my bag. And
Of your
at
bag.
least 6 months.
So they
And
had
I'm like,
had to
oh
have been
my
there a
God,
while.
locked up abroad. You know, I could already see myself in the program because none of them at that moment, at that morning, they spoke any English. So we're trying to, and I'm like, am I going to jail for 2 rounds that they can't find or what, man? I can already see myself locked up abroad. But anyway, they found them and they said, we have to throw them away. Throw them away. It is what it is. But it was fun, man. It was
Take
all fun. Yeah, but the trip back for me, oh my God, I thought I was never
take
going to
them, get
make
them
it.
the hell out of
It
there.
seemed forever. Looky there.
Oh, who do we got here? Is that Luigi? Luigi with some
What's up,
terrible Wi-Fi.
Luigi?
Oh, he's in a car. He can. I think his service
Yeah,
is
he'll come
non-existent.
back.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Uh, no, I'm driving to
Luigi,
Georgia.
where are you? Are
It's
you in
for
the
a
middle of the
game, actually.
desert? What's going on?
I know. Uh, no, I'm
Okay, that's
driving.
nice. Are you driving, or are you riding?
It's called hands-free, son.
It's called.
No, yeah.
It's free. That's totally how it
train
works.
for 9 months, 10 months for an optic, and then get back from Thailand and grab a 4-inch iron-sighted gun to go shoot an IDPA match. Let's go. Yeah.
Why not? Why not? Seems fun. Hey, your service is breaking up extremely bad. Are you gonna
I'll
have
get on in
time
a
when you
little
get
bit.
where you're going to hop back on here in like an hour or two?
All right, take care, bud.
All right, jump back on a little bit. Love you.
Yeah. So how did
Yeah,
you
that
find everything at
service
home?
was awful.
Me
Oh,
too.
dude, I was so excited to get home, man. As soon as I got in the door,
Yeah.
of course, I didn't get home until like 3 a.m. So by the time I got home, wife was asleep, dogs
Dude,
were asleep,
and
but
I
dude,
was
I
14
just
days. You were
slithered into my
21,
bed,
right?
passed out.
Oh my God. Wow. Yeah. I've
21
only
days.
done that
Yeah, it
when
was a lot.
I go to flight training, man.
Yeah.
Looky
Look at
there.
this. We got,
All right, guys.
How you doing, Mason?
yeah,
Oh, thank
that's too
you.
much. What's up, Mason? Look at you, buddy. Look at you. You look so handsome. And then I'm assuming Vlieger is
Trying
in
to
the
fix
black
it. Can you
screen, but
hear
we
me?
can't see him. He's so
Oh,
mysterious.
there we go. Wrong camera.
What's up, John?
I can
Okay.
hear you perfectly.
Mason, Mel.
Hey,
Good to see you.
Same here,
there we go.
man.
Still trying to get over jet lag.
So how was yeah, we'll start
Very
start
excited,
with you,
although I
John.
get on a plane
How
at 7 in
excited
the
are you to be
morning
home?
tomorrow to go to LA for a week. So this was but a brief interlude of being home in between Thailand and work. But no, I've been in the U.S. since Monday evening, and I'm still can't sleep through the night, jet lagged, not feeling amazing. But it's always better to have those feelings at home than in a different country. If you're going to feel upset, better to have it at home.
Were you
Yes,
jet
but
lagged
I
when you
didn't
got
realize
there?
it.
Like when you got to Thailand?
It was the excitement, the push through, and start exploring. I mean, I was excited as hell that was my first vacation in 8 years. All right. So, I mean, I don't count matches as vacation because that's their matches. But no, I didn't sleep through the night for the first 5 days in Thailand.
Yeah, I'm
What
glad
about
to
you,
be
Mason?
here.
How
It took me a
how are
little
you
longer to get
acclimating
used
to
to it
be
here
home?
than
You
it did
excited?
there. I was strangely enough. I was pretty well set within like 3 days of getting over there, and I still get waking up at like 4 in the morning back home. So, but like John said, it's not such a big deal when you can just roll over and go back to sleep.
Yeah, I had the same. I'm still waking up at like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm just like ready to rock. I was like, God dang it, just want to sleep. Sleep until my alarm goes off
Yeah.
at 4:45 would be nice. But oh well. So let's jump into it, guys. We were all four there. Let's go around the room. We'll start with Mason.
No, I went
What
to the
did,
one
what
in
did you think of the world shoot,
2017 as
man? Is this
well.
your is
So
this your
I
first world shoot?
have a little more frame of reference on it. I thought this match was the match experience was for sure better than France. In 2017 it was my first international match, which was a pretty big mistake. And the area around the range there in France was not nearly as developed or friendly for tourism as the range in Thailand was. So the overall experience of this match was significantly better than the previous match.
All right. How did you feel the whole experience went for you? I
I
mean,
mean, it was
what was
a lot
your
more
what was
ups than
your ups
downs.
and downs you
There
had
were
to go
sections
through
of the
for this
match that
one?
went pretty poorly for me, but other than that, that has nothing to do with the match organization or the way that it was composed or anything like that. That's all on me. I had a great time this go around. It was, I would say, it makes me optimistic for the future a lot more than the last one was. The first time around, I think I finished like mid-30s in production, and this time I was sixth. So, while I know for my potential, that's probably an underperformance, but for based on how I shot at the match, that it exceeded my expectations. So
Oh yeah.
I
Oh
love
yeah,
the
yeah.
range.
The match organization
And
seemed
the
great.
range, that
What
was the
what
other thing
what'd
that
you
was
think of the
really nice
range?
about this match compared to the previous one was the match in France was on an old well, not an old military base, but it was on a military base, and it was not a word of a lie, probably 3/4 of a mile from one end of the range where stages were to the other. So I mean, if you were like, depending where you were parked, you were in for like a serious hike. The first day I like forgot a bunch of crap in my car, and I spent like the better part of an hour like going back and forth like grabbing shit that I'd forgotten. Yeah, so this well, quite a bit better in that department. The range was beautiful. It's all nice and compact. You know, all like the facilities are kind of in the center. It was great. The only thing they could have done with is a few more safe tables, but you know, that's fine.
Yeah.
So I
what
can
about
agree
you,
with a
John?
ton of what
How'd
Mason
your
just said
first
with
experience
regards
go?
to the overall atmosphere, the construction of the range, I mean, it was kind of hard initially when I was trying to get, you know, with the language barrier, trying to tell cabbies where I wanted to go, both to and from the range. But I mean, it was outstanding. You can, you know, say that it's not a Western country and, you know, do all that, but they have the infrastructure there. They have the people there that know what they're doing. I mean, put it this way, uh, Frostproof floods harder than that range did while we were there. Uh, they had drainage cut. I mean, everything. The only thing that and I mean it, the only thing that I had an issue with while I was there was regarding delegates / silent scoring and pre-pasting or pre-scoring.
Yeah.
You know, and we have a precedent for that in USPSA, but the difference is in USPSA, with very few exceptions, your fellow competitors are pasting targets. So it's like, you know, if they call something weird, then you at least have people you shoot with a lot there to call, hey, something's not right. And there were several times where, you know, the guy was just looking at the tablet, looking at the target, doing his thing without saying or doing any types of hand signals. And I'm trying to be a delegate for two other Americans on my squad, Spencer Stein and Dominic Coe, and it's almost impossible. But other than that, I mean, that's a on you know, per stage kind of thing. Everything started on time. We got done early. I didn't touch a paster the whole week, and the staff by and large was extremely friendly, and every single, you know, local I talked to at least was extremely friendly. I mean, we as a country could learn from them when it comes to welcoming tourists and people that ain't from around here. That's for damn sure. Yeah, it was a very easy place to be a tourist.
Yeah. I will.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah, because that was your first international match, right? Okay, it was mine as well, and I didn't know what to expect. And I talked to a few people like Mason. I talked to you about it, like I think at Pan Am. Was it Pan Am? I don't remember where I talked to you about it. But you were like, dude, don't trip.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great, whatever.
Yep.
Dude, awesome
Yeah.
experience. Awesome experience. I think the people were nice, the food was great, the facilities were great. The fact that we had
Dude,
a
I had
7-Eleven
the pad
and all those
thai
food
or
vendors there was so legit.
basil, whatever it was, pre-made, 60 baht. For those who don't know, that's just shy of $2 uh, in the conversion rate. I had one of those like 2 or 3 mornings. Just, hey, you want this heated up? Yes, please. Fresh egg on top, throw some seasonings. It was filling for $2, and they had a real, honest to God 7-Eleven at the range and a KFC. It was
Yeah, they had a Chester's chicken, they had sticky mango rice stand, they had
yeah.
a coffee shop, they had a coffee bar there, they had a smoothie bar. Dude, it was nuts. The basil beef that you're talking about,
Mhm.
I ate that. I tried a couple things because I was there for 21 days, so I was at the range a lot. So I tried everything, and then the last probably 10 days I was eating just that. It was so good. Although I will say my first day at the range was just purely walking around to get the layout. And this is when I first got there. They were set up already for the staff. And I said, yeah, let me get I don't remember what I got, but he said, you want it spicy? And I'm like, yeah, I like spice. I'm from Texas. I'm from Texas, baby. Give me the spice. Dude, he took a spoon spoonful of that oil with all the peppers and just drowned it out.
Mhm.
Bro, 3 bites in, my nose is running, my eyes are watering. I'm like having a hard time breathing. I'm like, get this shit out of here. I'm gonna throw it away. The guy was watching me because I sat right next to him. He's watching me just try to get through it. And he eventually was like, "Sir, you want me to remake
Yeah.
it?" I'm
I've
like,
talked to
"Please
some
do.
people who avoided the
Please.
food,
I'm dying
for
over
whatever
here."
reason, whether it was dietary or because they were scared of the local food. I'm like, man, it's like you're on a potentially once in a lifetime trip. Like this is my first international vacation that didn't involve the U.S. government, and trying the food was like a number one priority for me. I love Thai food, and I like, hey, worst case scenario, you get the runs or whatever. Life happens, dude. You could get the runs in Flint, Michigan too. Doesn't mean you're gonna avoid eating. Don't drink the water. Big whoop. But I had a blast.
I'm gonna be honest, guys. Nobody told me about the water thing until it was way too late.
That
I have been brushing my
That's
teeth with that shit. I
supposedly
have
the
been
water
using
in
it to
Pattaya
rinse
is
my mouth out,
chlorinated, so
cooking
you
with
were
it.
probably fine. You're probably still fine. You just don't want to chug it.
Yeah, I had no issues. I know Maggie got sick just from brushing her teeth with it. I think that's what they were saying. But that's when I found out was when Maggie was over there dying. I'm like, "What's wrong with you?" "Oh man, I brushed my teeth with the water and now I got a bacterial infection." I'm like, "I've been brushing my teeth with this shit for 2 weeks."
I
But then again, I grew up in a
I
trailer park
I
in
grew
Texas,
up
so
drinking
I
the
don't think
irrigation
a
water
little Thai
out of the
bacteria is
ditch.
going to affect me now.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. You'll be fine. Mason grew up
I
on a
grew up
farm,
in
I think,
Mexico City, dude.
and
Nothing to
Mel
fuck
grew up
me
in
up.
Mexico.
Nothing.
I think.
My I went with family, and they
No,
had been to Mexico City, and they said like there was nothing like Mexico City. Like it was, no offense intended at all, but it was a much better. Like I felt safer. We were, doing a lot of walking around, and they were drawing parallels to Mexico City and how different it was,
You know,
while still being.
it's incredible. When we got there, I was expecting something else in Thailand. To be honest with you, I thought Bangkok. I was expecting, what it is now. But I thought that when we were going to Pattaya, it was going to be like a beach resort and jungle and all that. And I start driving, and I'm like, oh my God, it's a cement jungle, right? And it never stopped. It just and it's exactly like Mexico City, dude. Exactly like Mexico City. The only
And you
difference
know what I'll
is
say?
in Mexico
It
City, you'll
it
get
was
mugged, you'll get
you,
robbed.
you even get
People are
stuck in
honking the horn
you
and
even get stuck in
flipping you
traffic,
and
huh,
chinga tu
Mel?
madre and all this shit. In Pattaya or in Thailand, there's none of that, man. It's just amazing. The people were amazing. I cannot believe how beautiful of people they are. Not nice, beautiful people, dude. In general, it's amazing, amazing.
And that's one thing, I brought it up a lot while we were there, but I haven't like posted about it or talked about it. But how many car horns did you guys hear?
Hardly any.
The only one I heard
Guys,
was
Yeah,
freaking
Joe
I
Mel.
don't know if you
That's
Joe
the
guys
Groggy.
only
heard
one I
when the
heard was
firecrackers were
Mel.
going, when the fireworks were going off. I was going to Trevor to take my son and go have fun with him, right? Well, we drove 1 mile in 3 hours. So I was going like crazy, honking the horn, throwing the metal at everyone. If I had to run over somebody, I was going to do it. And then all of a sudden, my son says, "Dad, I just read in the internet that it says that if you honk the horn, it's impolite. That's why everybody's looking at you." It was so funny, man. It was crazy. But yeah, beautiful people. I know, right?
Did you
I
did you
told
all
you to
see the
walk,
fireworks?
pendejo.
Yeah.
The big fireworks? Well, me, my sister, and my dad went the
Oh
first
yeah.
night, Friday night, and it took us an hour of walking to get back to our villa. Like it was like a 20-minute walk if, with no traffic or whatever, but it was jam packed. And then the next night, my other sister had flown in, and they're like, "Hey, we're all going to go see the fireworks again. You want to go?" And I'm like, "Hell no! I have to shoot at 6:30 in the morning. I'm not even going to get back to the villa until midnight with the traffic, and it's a weekend now, so it's going to be worse." And it was sounded about right, about met my predictions. But those fireworks were, for people who don't know, they had a fireworks. It was supposedly multiple countries, but they had barges in the harbor. It was the most intense display of pyrotechnics I've ever seen in my life. Yeah, it was timed to the music.
You didn't
It was really
even
cool.
see him, Trevor. You were in the bar all the time.
Where'd you?
Oh,
Yep.
No, hey, the bar had a balcony, dude. I was right there, baby. I was right there. I was waiting to see. I could hear you honking way off in the distance over the fireworks.
Yeah, we were
So,
lucky.
so
We had
Mason,
we had
did
a
you
rental
did you and
property that
Kaylee
was,
get to
like
watch
a
the
20-minute
fireworks?
walk from the beach. So we went down there the second night just because that's how it worked out good for our schedule. We went down to that little beer garden there that was like on the pier and had dinner, and then it was firing up like right as we were finishing. So it worked out perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, y'all did that cute little
Yeah,
like
we
snuggle
got
under the
some Hallmark
fireworks
moments
thing.
captured there for
Did you
sure.
get that? Did you
Yeah.
get that picture? Yeah. So let's talk about your absolute favorite part of Pattaya itself. We'll start with Mel. What was your
well,
favorite part
obviously
of
match,
the
dude.
whole
I mean,
experience
I
in
love the
Pattaya?
match, the stages and all that. You know, I I hate to say this, but you know it. At my age, everything had to be nice this time because I don't know if I'm going to make a next one, right? I'm 57 now. I'll be 60 for the next one. And I wish it would have been 3 years ago because that would have been a lot faster, a lot better. But I love the match. I thought the stages were awesome. The surface, I've always been a guy that's worried about the surface. I travel with 3-4 pairs of different shoes, cleats and all that. The surface was amazing, man. Even if it would rain, you know, you could wear any shoe there. That was pretty cool.
It's almost like for the people who didn't see videos, they used like raised beds with
That
gravel
was
fill.
awesome. Yeah. That
Yeah.
was Zone A. On Zone
Oh,
A, where
yeah.
they raced them, that's amazing, dude. Because if it rains, it just, you know, pours down.
When it rained on us during the
Yeah, I saw
pre-match,
that.
they actually had guys there with brooms. They were lifting the fault line and sweeping the water off for you. And then they'd stake I swear to God,
Wow.
they would sweep the water out of the shooting area for each shooter.
Yeah, I got to see that. I got to see
was
that the
it
first
was
day that we
crazy.
shot and it
It was
rained.
crazy.
They were doing
I was
that
like,
as we
what?
were shooting. It was crazy, man. But yeah, for me, I'm sorry.
They even had bags, and then they'd be like, "Okay, shooter, you ready? All right." They'd all take the bags off, run back,
Hey,
let you
what
shoot,
I-
and then go put the bags on and
Sticky
score
rice,
it.
dude.
It was
Oh
nuts.
man, I fell in love with sticky rice. I could eat that shit every day, 2-3 times a day.
You know what's funny, Mel, is
Yeah.
I had that before this podcast. There's a
Wow.
Thai place by my house, and I had some basil beef
Dude, next
and
time I
some
go to
mango
Houston,
sticky
believe
rice.
me,
I had
we're
to get
going.
back in the mood of Thailand for this, you know.
Yeah. But
So let's go to you, John. What was your favorite part of the
really just
whole
walking
experience?
around.
Just your absolute
I
favorite.
mean, I probably walked an average of, I don't know, 4 to 6 miles a day while I was there, not counting the range. Like I said, my first vacation in a very long time, my first international vacation, I was walking distance. I was basically smack dab between Jomtien Beach and Pattaya Beach, a little bit inland. So I could walk 15 minutes and be at the beach, 20 minutes be at the beach north at Pattaya Beach, or I could be at Jomtien in about 20 minutes, or spend, $3 US to catch a cab. But being able to walk everywhere, and like you said, concrete jungle, right, Mel? It's like you'd expect, like in the US or in the West, in a built up place like that, where it's sidewalks and a lot of traffic, you'd expect to be getting haggled, or it just to not be a necessarily pleasant experience. But I got hawked at a few times, maybe, guys selling watches late at night on Pattaya Beach, and like, "Hey, you want?" And I said no, and they just walked off. Like, no, it wasn't forceful. It was just
Yep.
smiles everywhere, man. I walked by a restaurant, and say, "Hey, you know what? Let's stop and get a snack." In fact, my last night there, I had 2 dinners because it wasn't quite what I wanted the first place I found. So I had, an entree, and walked another mile down the road and found a better place and had another dinner. It's like being able to find a new place to eat, 5 times a day if you wanted to, was but no, I agree with Mel. There's nothing to compare what they did on the range to. I mean, I didn't touch a paster or a piece of steel. They had thought through, the logistics of, hey, we're going to run 1,500 people through this stuff. So when it comes to, I've helped with matches a decent amount, and you see stuff that's not going to last a weekend, or, hey, we have spares of this because we know it's not going to last a weekend. But like that seesaw, that was the most industrial strength seesaw I have ever seen. Had hydraulics built into it. I mean, like they took it seriously. Infrared tripwire for that one stage in zone 3, I think it was. I mean, where else are you going to see that in the U.S.? You're not. It was very, 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 very professional. But yeah, no, the walking around was great, and the match itself was, except for what I brought up earlier, was amazing.
I enjoyed the walking around too. The first 6 or 7 days I was there, none of you guys were there yet. So it was really just me. It was like me and Troy and Bob. So I was just walking around the city, just checking shit out, sightseeing. I mean, there's like all these little shops you can just walk into. There's one of the
Did you go to the night market?
Coolest restaurant areas. I mean, it was awesome. That was a pretty good highlight for me. Oh yeah.
Did you eat the food?
Yeah, the night market was
okay. Yeah, I had crocodile on a stick, and she heated it back up for me with the blowtorch.
Yeah. I tried that. I tried the crocodile on a stick. I also ate a scorpion. 10 out of 10 would not recommend. Crickets, dude, I like chocolate covered crickets. I've had those in other countries, and they had a vendor there doing the chocolate covered cricket.
I've had cricket before. So,
all right, Mason, what about you?
I won't say necessarily my favorite part, but just to
what's
say
your favorite part,
things
Mason?
that are different. Making friends with neighborhood dogs in our neighborhood. There's a whole lot of dogs that definitely are, don't have homes and are very well fed. So we made friends with all the dogs in our neighborhood and brought them leftovers every now and then, and they were good friends with us. As you guys mentioned, the economic situation there is very favorable for Americans to go to. So we'd routinely show up and order like 2 entrees, and it's like no big deal. You get your 2 meals each and a couple drinks, and the bill comes out to be like still less than a third of what you'd expect at an American restaurant, which is pretty sweet.
Yep.
And really the match. I mean, that was my favorite part about the whole experience. Like I'm not, I'm prematurely old. We weren't out burning the midnight oil every day. But the match was really, really well composed again. And to echo what you guys said, that for me was the most rewarding part. Speaking to the quality of the props, I thought it was, when I saw that window, we shot section number 5 first. So they had that stage with a window where you had to, pull above your head and bring the rope down to shoot through the window with one hand. I took a look at that and I'm like, oh boy, here we go. Having seen those things fail like so many times before at matches I've been to. And then when I actually muckled onto that thing and pulled it down, it was like the best constructed, like you could put that window in your house.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
you could have.
Yes.
I had one at low cap Nats. You remember the pull at low cap Nats? Dude, that thing, I went to pull it. It came off.
Speaking of that, did y'all hear about the Latvian shooter? The one-handed Latvian shooter? He was on my squad.
Dude, I saw him. Okay, I got his info.
And I looked after the fact. He finished at about 50% in open, but not last. And for reference, the guy has no use of his right arm, so he would just leave it hooked up on his shoulder so it's out the way. But he was shooting open with a SV or SV lookalike, and he would do reloads off of his magnet on his left-hand side. He would, slap the gun down onto that loaded mag to seat it. And I never heard him complain once His English wasn't terrible. His name's Arkadis, and motorcycle accident is what he told me that took the use of his arm. But the guy was shooting splits on partials with, strong hand only the whole damn match, like some people were doing with two hands. I mean, I'm sure, and actually Mason and myself both have experience shooting at least some one-handed, and it was just impressive.
Yeah,
Is that
the guys
guy that had like a real skinny arm? I didn't see him.
Yeah.
Dude,
I saw him in pictures, and I saw a real skinny arm.
Yes,
but
yes.
I didn't see that he doesn't.
He
have
would
a
hook
hand?
it up here.
No, he has.
Okay.
Yeah.
No,
Wow.
he has
That's
everything.
crazy,
He just
man.
has no use.
Wow.
Dude, he would hook
Wow.
it up here and just go to work, bro. It was incredible. Hey, I wanted to see him do that.
So
How
that
did they
stage
do
and
the pull
stage
stage? Did they just
one,
open it for him
I
already?
know for a fact concessions were made because you had to, but otherwise he tried to get through the stage without having to get concessions, obviously because there's procedurals involved, obviously. But like the double door stage where the bobber had the on release. That bobber activated when your foot came off the stomp box. I think he had to talk to them beforehand and be like, here's how I'm going to open the door and not sweep myself, kind of thing. And he had to prove it on another stage, I think, that had a door being opened that basically like, hey, I'm going to do this way. Can I show you how I'm going to do it so you don't DQ me for it thinking I, broke the 180 or muzzled himself. But that guy's an inspiration, man.
So you were shooting with him, John?
Yeah, he's on my squad.
He was in your
dude.
squad? Wow.
Yeah.
Such.
Do you have any video of him?
No, I didn't get any video of him. Someone posted a thing about him, though. I could probably find it and track it down and send it over to you.
That's awesome.
But
Dude.
yeah.
Wow.
I shot with him. I shot with some Norwegians, Spencer Stein and Dominic Coe from the American contingent, obviously. One guy from Laos, Malaysia, and Australian. There's a kid named Crixian, Crixian. The guy, the kid, he's like 16. If he just learns how to hit steel, he's gonna be the next contender for the title.
Wow.
The guy's freaking insane. But anyway.
Dude, there was some heat there, dude. I was walking around during the main match when I could, just looking at all the shooters, man. There were some kids there, and there were some adults. I mean, there were some people where I went, talked to them, and how long you been shooting? 3-4 years is my first world shoot, and I'm like, yeah, Lee, when those dudes figure it out. And girls, there were some girls there that I'm like,
Yep. Speaking of which,
I don't have to run into her in the next
speaking of which,
2 or 3
Morgan
years when she
Leonhardt
figures out
won
how to
High
do a
Lady
few
in
things,
production
she might
optics.
kick my ass.
Not High Junior, High Lady. She smoked it. But
Dude,
the,
when we shot the practice match with her and I saw her
Yeah,
shoot,
she's a
I've never
beast.
seen her shoot. I'm like, oh my God, this is the next world champion. It's crazy. It's amazing how she shoots. I teach a lot, and when I teach girls, it's like you got to shoot like a boy. Morgan doesn't shoot like a boy, dude. She shoots like a boy, a professional boy. It's crazy how I think she's going to be the next world champion many times around in many disciplines, dude. I mean, in different guns. I can't wait to see her go to Open. Yeah, I can't wait to see her go to Open.
Yeah,
It's gonna be crazy.
she's a monster for sure.
I haven't
Oh,
said
are you
anything.
telling us something, Mel? Is Masterpiece already
Hey,
saying
I
we're
don't
smoking
control
guns? Or are
anything
you
in
trying to?
Masterpiece.
You
Yeah.
telling us
They
something?
called it.
Yeah, she's
Mason, I couldn't help but
shedding hair
notice.
like-
Were you
like it's-
blowing on your kitty?
driving me crazy. Sorry. It's like I'm
I
in a
just see every now and again
snowball
go,
over here. Sorry.
the hell is he doing? Well, real quick, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna which one of you wants to talk about your shooting experience, and then we'll let who else is it? We'll let
if
another
we're,
American
I have to get
shooter
going here
come
in a
right
few
behind
minutes,
you.
so I can go first and jet out if you want. Okay.
Perfect.
Okay. Great.
Yeah, John, we're gonna do a solo episode anyway down the line. You know that.
So
let's give us a recap
finished
of your
10th,
match.
93
Give
point
us kind
something.
of your thoughts.
Thanks. I've spent the last week
Huge, dude.
basically coming to terms with it, and obviously, much like with Mason, like, sixth, that's a freaking outstanding, Mason. Like, you and I both know that, sixth in the world. All right, but you know that you wanted it higher. You know that you could have achieved higher. You know that. So, while other people are looking at you and telling you congratulations, you know in your heart that you let yourself down, at least to an extent. There's never a perfect match, but internalizing that is impossible. You're not going to be able to instantly go from, yeah, I did great, once you've learned what you can achieve. And especially after my nationals finish, being, a much higher percentage, much closer to the title, this was a little disappointing. At the same time, I know exactly what happened. The jet lag and the heat got to me more than I gave it credit for. I should have been slamming a Red Bull before every day of shooting. That's what I should have been doing. I mean it. I cut back on caffeine a ton about 5 years ago. I just have coffee nowadays. But if there was a time to pull out the big guns, it was for that match. And watching, especially the first day, not only was I shooting conservative, but I was not motivated. I didn't look like I had a fire lit under my ass on my movements and on everything. So I gave up the most points on day 1. Day 4 and 5. Day 4 I had 2 stage wins, almost consecutive, and then day 5 went overall pretty well. If I had shot the whole match like I shot the last few days, it would have been a different story, but it's all about lessons learned. I shot a penalty a day, which I'm not happy about. Few swingers got away from me, and I shot a wall. So, but other than that, it was about what I expected with my own performance. I trained hard, but I didn't execute perfectly while we were there. But someone said something to me recently about training and training cycles, because I brought up how many rounds. I shot more rounds this year than I have any year prior. I think I shot in excess, all told, over 30,000 rounds this year. I shot over 5,000 rounds of minor in August by itself, just training for Carry Optics Nationals. So I've been really hammering the live fire this year. And someone told me, hey man, maybe you just peaked early. And meaning I was trying to maintain after a certain point. I wasn't really improving, and it was getting tired. I am tired. My season is usually over in October. And I was tired of this match, mentally and physically. So I think that if I had known that ahead of time, I might have been able to prepare better, and physically mainly. But it is what it is. I'm ecstatic for the experience. I want to make South Africa in 3 years, although, you never know what the good Lord has in store for you. But we'll see what happens.
I for one, am very impressed. 10th in the world, and your first international match, your first world shoot, coming off of an entire season where, you went hard just like me and Mason and Mel went hard. I mean, and you flew in, shot the match. I know you were jet lagged. I know you were tired. It was extremely, extremely hot there. I mean, and not just that, the humidity took it out of you. And I watched you shoot, and the first day I watched you shoot, I was thinking like, man, John's looking a little conservative here, And then the third and fourth and fifth day I saw you shoot, I was like, holy shit, John's on. And I know you're not happy with your performance, but you should be. I mean, 10th in the world in any sport, in any aspect, is something to be extremely proud
Thanks,
of.
man.
And I know
Thanks.
everybody
Yeah,
in
That's
the
nothing
PSA
to
is
stop
proud
at,
of
that's
you.
for
So
sure. I mean, like, it
congratulations
takes
on
a
that,
ton
brother.
of luck to even be able to go. Like, to set a goal of winning a world shoot is not a realistic goal, even for people that like get to the skill level that you're at. So I mean, like, you're in a position where next time around you could easily podium. So that's nothing to be unhappy about. Like, performance relative to expectations notwithstanding.
Yeah. It's some of the best advice I got given or trying to internalize after the match was over was trying to learn to shut up, smile, and say thank you. It's your own internal demons or, insecurities notwithstanding, people are happy for you. People are telling you to shut up and smile. Maybe I should listen to them. So.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, I know you just like I know myself and everybody else on these screens. You're going to go home, lock yourself in a closet, and release a match video while whipping yourself.
But there's a saying I heard a while back. It's like
It is what it is.
when you don't win, you nitpick and you find everything that went wrong, woulda, coulda, shoulda. And when you win, you don't, because it doesn't matter.
Matters a lot less to you, doesn't it?
Yeah. But thanks for having me on, Trevor. I'm going to get going. Mason, great to see you, both in Thailand and right here. See probably all three of you guys on the range here sooner rather than later.
Sure.
I always see you in the elevator at the hotels. Isn't that funny?
Hell yeah, you will, brother.
All right. Stay safe, guys. Later.
Later, brother. Be safe. All right.
It was all right.
All right, so Mason, let's talk about your match.
I
How
think
did you feel
one
your
thing
match
that
went?
Americans at least would get a lot out of by shooting international matches is an appreciation for like the difference in skill set that international shooters have. Like you mentioned, Trevor, like everyone you see looks fairly like there's not that many people you see where like they look like they're just kind of figuring it out, like they're just getting started. Almost everyone you see is very competent, at least at hitting almost any shot, and they have varying degrees of speed from there. Like especially European IPSC shooters, they can hit anything. I don't know if that's a function of, them taking the sport more seriously, and what if that is a function of it being more of a privilege to be involved or what than it is in America. But the average skill level in a lot of ways is quite a bit higher than it is at we'll see at USPSA matches generally. So it's easy to kind of draw false comparisons or compare yourself to other people you see in the match. Like we shot with Eric was on our squad. It was our production team. So it was me, Casey, and Matt Nash. We shot with Eric, the Italian team, who were incredible to watch, and then the Czech production team as well with Michael Stepan. And the Italian team was incredible. They're like competence on hitting small plates, like on entries and in dynamic scenarios and what have you was unreal. Like they probably, you could count the amount of pickup shots they had each on one hand for the match. It was ludicrous. So that was kind of shaped my expectations as I was shooting the match. I had like 4 days with like one or two kind of leaving a lot of meat on the bone sort of scenarios each, and then on section 2, which is the one in the really big bays down there, the one that had the prone stage and the wiggly bridge and the 30-yard targets out there. That section, I had major errors on every single stage. Like I had not adequately trained to be as disciplined, I guess, or especially as disciplined on steel, but not to be precise enough to a level where I was able to make it happen there, like with the iron sights. It was just I was not connecting, and I had a really tough section there. So like there was left a lot of meat on the bone in the match overall. So like I mentioned early, it was like it's especially when I see the number 91.5. I've been at about right around 90% of Eric since 2018. So it's frustrating to see that number not really moving. But at the same time, like that placement compared to everyone else is about what I was hoping for. I was hoping to be top 10, but it's under my expectations, and it certainly didn't. When you look at what I feel my potential is, and compared to how I did, so it's frustrating in the sense that I'd like to do better. It's motivating in the sense that there's a lot of, I guess you could say, low-hanging fruit. Like if I could take back even half of the pickup shots I have on steel, I obviously wouldn't have won, but I'd be up a lot higher up. So I don't know. It was a good experience overall. Glad I went. Don't really have profoundly positive or negative feelings about my performance one way or another.
Well, I can tell you, watch you shoot a lot, man.
Well,
You were
thank
shooting pretty damn well. Pretty damn well. I know you're not super happy because I know what you wanted and I know what
Yep.
you're capable of.
For anyone that's
But,
curious,
dude, you should be
obviously
very happy
you've
with it.
posted a ton of videos too. I posted a full match video today on my YouTube channel with first and third person video of almost every single stage. So you can check that out. Watch.
Hell yeah. He can win a world championship, folks, but he can't figure out how to get his phone set up.
Yeah, how's it going, guys? Nothing much. Good to see you both.
Howdy.
What's up, champ?
Sorry.
Good to see you too, man. Well, let's finish up, Mason. Dude, you should be extremely happy with your performance. I will say that was. I know you're not excited about it, but 6th in the world and in the same division as Graffel is nothing to sneeze at, bro.
Yeah,
I mean that guy just
that was
loves
another
to
really
rob
cool
every
part of the
fucking point
experience
from
that I
you
kind of forgot to
possible.
mention
So
was he
I mean,
shot, and I mean I'm sure he'd tell anyone that the same thing. He did not shoot to his ability either. Like he left. There's a lot of cases where he left pickup shots or little mistakes out there where there was a lot of potential left on the bone for him as well. But still, like 9.5 out of 10 stages, he takes such conservative strategies but then executes on such an incredibly high level that it's like amazing to watch. It's like, oh yeah, that's what my plan looked like in my head before I then went out there and screwed it all up. It was a really cool experience watching. If anyone's not privy to him and his excellence, you should definitely check him out online because he's pretty awesome to watch. But
hell yeah. Well, dude, like I said, you should be extremely happy with your performance, and I know
cool.
I'm proud of you.
Well, thank you.
And I know a lot of other people are. So,
Not much.
so what's up, champ?
There, but,
Look at this
yeah,
guy.
back,
You're not wearing the medals. What the hell,
so
dude?
The night before, and then worked, and then hung out with some of my friends, kind of celebrated a little bit. Now I'm just back to real life, so focusing back on work, studying a little bit, and kind of getting all caught up. So it's good stuff here. Just busy days ahead, but trying to relax as much as possible too.
Well, let's real quick, everybody, give a round of applause to the world champ. There we go. Dude, so this was your first world shoot. And
how could I
you just decided to spoil yourself and win the whole damn thing.
There's
huh?
really no other option. I mean, going over there, you don't really know exactly what to expect, but I've been picturing doing this for a really long time. So there's really no other option. But especially after the first day, this is the only path. This is the only route. We're going to make it happen no matter what. So, yeah, it's good. Really excited with how everything went. I'm obviously the biggest critic of myself. So I've been, just started watching kind of the videos and putting those together and downloading everything, and wish I won by more, wish I, did different things, but a win is a win. So I'm happy with it for sure.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, I mean, you shot fantastic. We all saw that. I mean, I know you're probably just like everyone else. Even though you won, you're probably still not happy with your shooting as a whole. But give us your your overall feeling on the whole match.
Shooting, but 6 days, you have one break day. So I shot the first day. On the first day, I had a magazine problem on these 2 plates that went by. So I had to do a rack, and I had to wait 4 seconds for the slider to come back. So I lost like 24, 25 points. So 20-something points, and then, shot real good, real solid. I really didn't feel any pressure except for on the first stage. The first stage, it was funny. I went to go give people fist bumps on other teams, say good morning to them, good luck. And every single one of them, when they went to go do that, would go their hand would shake, and I was like, all right, let's go. I love that sort of nervous energy because I just thrive under that and really feed off that energy, and I like getting dialed in. So I just allowed to get myself dialed in. First stage was fine, just made sure I shot my shots. Second one, good stage. I won that course fire until some 20-year-old kid decided to hammer it on the last day. But yeah, it was a good stage. Won that one. Next one, I had the jam, and then I missed by this much into hardcover. But then I just, didn't let it bother me, didn't let it affect me. I said, this is what it is. I've lost 50 points in the first 4 stages. Didn't let it bother me. Kept shooting my points. Finished strong. And I looked at the results at the end of the day, and I saw that Jorge had a rough day. I was watching him a little bit. I saw a lot of people had a rough day. It was a kind of a difficult section of the match. I think zone 2 is probably the harder section. Got out of that relatively unscathed, and I felt real comfortable. Came back day 2, shot a perfect day 2. Stuck to the plan. The plan all along was to shoot points as fast as possible. Nothing special. Really never pushed. Really never felt any crazy pressure. Felt real comfortable. Shot my points. Day 2 up about 23 something points. So I gained back 35 in one day. And then day 3 I had another 10. Day 4 I had another 10. Going into the break day, rode some elephants, pet some tigers, practiced a little bit, stayed dialed, and then Friday morning up by 40 points. I know that for Edsel to catch me, he's gonna have to push. He pushed. He's very, very much so like KC. When he's on, and no one's gonna be able to beat him on some of these. And it wasn't my goal to beat him. That's why I put in the work on the first 4 days, because I don't want to get into a dogfight unless I have to. I'm always down for it, but there's no point. It's stupid. I like to win. I don't like just to get into scraps for no reason. As much as I love to, and I'll win them if I do get into them. I let that lead just ride out. I shot all alphas on 4 out of the 5 stages. So shot my game plan, shot the alphas, picked up the points where I wanted to pick up the points, and then that was it. Won the match. So it was a good match. And reflecting on different stages and where I could have gained more points, shot better. But yeah, a win is a win. I'm excited with it. I just want to make it 50 plus the next time, not 15 plus. So it's good stuff.
Oh yeah. Well, that's some solid shooting, brother. I mean, to be able to calculate that and know where you're at, stay ahead through the whole thing. Mason, did you do both of you do kind of a similar thing where you know where you're at through the match as you're shooting it,
Yep.
or do y'all do a day end recap? Or
This match, I
we'll
didn't do
start with
either of
Mason.
those
Mason,
things.
how do you do that? Are you paying attention
Honestly,
to stage by
shooting
stage?
against Eric, it's gonna take an exceptional performance through the entire match for me to win. And there's nothing about knowing what the score is that's gonna help me do that. So for me, and this is probably going to be an adaptation I'm going to take through next year too, is if there's any, in my case, if there's any computations to be done, it's okay, what's the factor of this stage? How many points is the stage worth? How does that affect my strategy on the stage? It's me versus the stage, not me versus the people I'm shooting against. So knowing what the score is isn't really going to affect that. For me, I'm pretty consistently not effective in the dogfights, like Christian mentioned. So even if I get into them, I'm going to do best by being unaware of it. So yeah, I didn't look at scores literally until the end of the match, and we were going around looking at team scores and stuff like that. So I knew I was hovering around 10th going into the last day and a half, but that's not constructive information for me in that case, especially in a match that's more technically demanding than what we're honestly used to shooting. It's about keeping your nose clean in those sorts of matches. Nothing, I'm not going to do anything different based on the information I see. So I didn't bother looking.
Yeah. I like a lot of what Mason just said right there. It makes a lot of sense.
What about you, Chris?
At the end of the day, if someone shot X on some stage or you're down 10, how's that really going to affect the end result and the end action? The end action is to shoot alphas as fast as you possibly can and shoot your points, right? I mean, that's what you're doing. You're shooting points as fast as you possibly can. So it's really not going to affect you much. It will allow you to turn on the gas a little bit, maybe take a lower level of confirmation on some stuff. You really got to hammer, really got to push ahead on the stage. But that's end of match type mentality. I kind of like to see where people are at to make sure I'm at a good pace. But for me, I know that I have the speed. If I just shoot points and, like Mason said, keep my nose clean, don't shoot any penalties, don't have any big mistakes, shoot my points, I'll be just fine. So that's why I just stuck with that game plan. Of course, on the second to last day and the last day, I was looking at the people that were 2 and 3. So at the time was Chris Tilley, Casey, and Edsel. So I was making sure I knew where they were at. But for the most part, just tracking my own stuff. If I shot points as fast as possible, I knew I was going to win the match. So I just stuck to that game plan, didn't really change it at all. But it is nice to know. Like Mason also said, I go up to this stage, I want to know what the hit factor is. That will change the tactics a little bit. If it's a higher hit factor, there's some partials that I can push it on or move back out on. Maybe I'm going to minimize that risk in the pursuit of maybe shooting that faster. But for me to decide to pull the trigger and my sights aren't in the alpha, there better be a really good reason, because it doesn't take that much more time to pull the trigger and send the alpha. So when there's some partials, I wouldn't say no shoot ones in particular, but a lot of hard cover targets where there's maybe half the alpha exposed on the left-hand side that provides some risk, and if it was a high hit factor stage, I'd be okay shooting that line there and picking up a Charlie or something like that. So that's just a note that I was looking at the hit factors and a lot of low ones, so points really mattered.
How in what case would you like need to do that? Like in the case of this match, I think the highest factor was like around like 8 or 9. So,
Yeah.
I mean, well, like at what threshold is it appropriate? Like I look at it, I try to break it. I shoot mostly minor or
Right.
at least iron sight. So the strategy works basically the same, right? It's like, you know, I divide it roughly into low, middle, and high factor stages. And I can infer like a percentage of what number of shots, like I can kind of slip up outside the A zone from there.
Yeah.
And like for production, like unless it's like an 8.5 or better or higher, like I can't really justify not aiming properly. So you obviously shoot a lot of opens. Like where's that threshold for you?
It just depends. It has to be like if you look at like how Casey shoots, and he's shooting on targets like at the partials, he's shooting 2 Charlie almost every single time with no regard, and it moves on. And so I think with major, obviously because you're dropping less points, sometimes that math makes a lot more sense. But I think when you start to get 6, 7, 8, I mean that's a point where you say, hey, if I can save a good amount of time on this, just like doing the math and adding it up, then it makes sense. But with minor, it seems like you just have to shoot the alphas in every single position. With major, for me, it's more of a risk thing rather than gaining stuff, shooting away from partials and not trying to shoot no shoots and black stuff. So I think we're on the same page with this, but just different tactics for different divisions, right? Minor, major. But yeah, I rarely did that in the match. The only point I was really doing that was when there was hard cover on the left-hand side. Because like for us right-handed shooters, our misses are probably going to be left if we have a physical fundamental mess up with our vision, our grip impulses, and how we hold the gun. So that's when I really started to aim to the right, or when I had no shoots on the left-hand side. It was very rare. I shot 97% of the points and just want to shoot the alphas as much as possible. But yeah, that's kind of my tactics on it.
I was thinking like that teeter-totter stage, like that's like a high enough factor stage that you could justify doing it if there had been a target that was actually hard to hit. But like there's not any hard to hit on that stage, so it's like there wasn't that many cases where it really made sense. And I feel like that's obviously IPSC matches in general tend to be better factor balanced. I think this match was a little bit too low compared to others I've shot, but that tends to be the case in general. Is like there's you have to be a lot more selective about where you give shit away like that, obviously with the expectation that if you're making a decision to give away points, then you can't just give them away willy-nilly where you're not expecting to.
Yep, completely agree with that. Especially the close ones. You had to shoot the points on it because you needed those in the low hit factor stages. The one with the little Cooper tunnel, when you came out, there was those 3 targets, the open and the partial and the close one there. That was one when I decided, hey, because of the risk, I'm going to shoot 2 Charlie on that on the right. And I called one a little bit left, so I sent the third one. I think it was like Alpha 2 Charlie, something like that. So that's one of the decisions I remember taking is, hey, on that one, I'm going to shoot the Charlie because the distance risk and just where it was at on the stage.
If I remember correctly, I took the strategy where I took a half-ass aiming scheme, shot 3 shots, and still had it Charlie.
I took a very similar approach, knowing that if I called anything funny, I was going to shoot a third one on that because of the high risk on that target. And that was the only miss that I had on the match was on that type of target on the prone stage. So I decided that if I was, I took 3 good ones and I called one a little bit left. That's what I took. So yeah, it was good. It was a good match. I really liked it. It was pretty technical match. The first stage on the little bridge with the weird moving target, and then the second stage was like the 40-yard pistol shot. So it was a nice, welcome to the world shoot. But I love it. The hard stuff was really fun. I mean, speaking for myself, I don't know about you guys, but I really preferred something like this compared to Open Nationals because it allowed you to be way more of a tactician and be very precise and plan how you're going to pull away from people rather than just a hose fest on every single stage. I mean, when we got to that kind of like American zone, the back zone 3, or maybe zone 4, the back left-hand side where the warm-up bay was, a lot of those were kind of more zone 4, a little bit more hoserish, and I felt like that whole entire section was like, this is Open Nationals a little bit. A lot of people just going hard in every single stage, people setting high hit factors. Whereas I like the other zones where it was very technical, shoot your points, a lot of steel, a lot of places to separate yourself and make tactical decisions if you wanted to. But like the Open Nats and the area matches and stuff are just hose fest, to the wall every single stage. So I liked how you can be more of a tactician, more precise at this match. And, that's how I felt.
I would prefer this match over Open Nats 10 times out of 10.
I feel like people really glorify IPSC because obviously everyone says kind of the same thing to that effect. It's like it's a lot worse in a lot of ways from like an administration fairness and a and an organizational standpoint than USPSA is. But the match culture, the stage culture, and the way that the matches are organized and the experience for the competitor is better, and the stages are way better. It's I think some of the guys at our house were talking about it. It's like at an open or a race gun nationals, there'll be just to estimate, if it's a 20-stage match, there'll be 5 or 6 stages that are really big, butt pucker, separator stages where you have to keep your nose clean and do everything right the whole way. And you can remember what they are at the end of the match very easily. And in an IPSC match like this, it's that's every single stage because you have to do the whole thing right. You can't fail in at any point.
Yeah, you can't. At this match, you cannot make up for sloppy shooting with raw, greasy speed. It just doesn't work. Whereas I see it a lot in open nats where shooters who don't shoot great points are just retarded fast on the gun and on their feet, and they place well. Whereas if this at this match. Yeah.
I was just gonna say,
at this match, they would just get their shit pushed in.
You're gonna get exposed. I mean, you can survive an open nationals really not having good physical fundamentals, meaning you're not standing in a good way, you're not pulling the trigger in a good way, you're not gripping the gun in a good way. But like Mason mentioned earlier, everyone at this match, or especially the international guys, could hit everything. Meaning they could grip the gun well, they could pull the trigger well, they're standing decently too.
Right.
So they had good fundamentals. They could hit this stuff because they can't go to their local match and say, hey, I can't shoot something outside of 15 because there's 8-inch plates at 20, So it was cool to see, and I really appreciated it. Really tested a lot of the skills that I've been practicing and working on a lot. So it was cool to see for sure.
I had a kid in my squad, younger Thai kid, one of the Thai juniors. I'm not kidding you. This kid took 0 makeup shots on skill at speed. I mean, he obviously was a younger shooter. He was, still pretty raw, but his ability to shoot all those plates and one at just ding, 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 ding. It was
good.
Fucking unreal.
It was good. That's my strategy. Don't take any pickup shots, especially at distance. I mean, every single pickup shot was adding time to the clock. So as long as you kept your physical fundamentals good, your vision was in the right spot, and you pulled the trigger, you're good to go. So I wanted to go 1 for 1. I'm trying to count how many makeups I had on stuff. So it'll be interesting to see, but that was my plan, to not take any. It was good.
It's not enough.
I do not want to count my makeups.
I'd rather
The one thing
I'll
I'm
just
proud
decide
of,
to start my
I
open
took
gun.
no makeup shots at the shoot off on all my runs. So it was 1 for 1 for 1 for 1. Besides the stop plate when I was just hammering it down,
I actually
which I was happy about.
either, but it's because I got dumped out in the first round.
That also is a good strategy if that's your goal. Love it.
Why not? No, I mean it was a good match
cool.
overall.
I mean,
What
it's like
did
a
you
Las
think of the
Vegas,
city, Chris?
type
What did you think of
atmosphere
Pattaya
down
as a
there.
whole?
I'm not gonna lie. I think I told you this on the first day. I was like, I wanted to move hotels. I wanted to move out of the city. I really didn't like it. I was trying to find places to eat, and everything was just on the street. And I was like, I want to get out of here. I want to get out of here. But I felt more comfortable. I mean, driving around, my dad was awesome to drive us everywhere and everything like that. But definitely a cool place. After the match, went down to Krabi, flew down there. It's a beach town, so way more chill and just very relaxing. So Pattaya was cool. If I have another match here, definitely come back. And yeah, great range and everything.
Yeah. It was solid. It was good to get to be there with everybody and to get to shoot the match and then to get to go out afterward and go eat
Good
dinner,
time.
go
Yeah,
have
South Africa
beers.
would probably be a lot different.
It was a good time.
Probably can't really go out, not going out to different events and stuff afterwards. It's just match and back. So it'll be definitely interesting, different experience. But that's the next thing for sure.
You're not going to go experience the South African nightlife with us?
Probably not. That's all of you.
Yeah,
I'll let you guys go out. I will stay back at the hotel. That's not for me. But
come on, man. You don't want to go
right.
out and, party around a bonfire, get chased by some lions?
On that note,
it'd be fun, dude.
I met a lot of really cool South Africans at the match. A few people I've been connected with online, so talking with them a little bit. So it was nice to meet them in person. But then just a lot of the South Africans in general were super nice, and we're really excited to have it back there. And I told them, I was like, hey, I'm a little worried about coming down. And they said, hey, we'll take care of all the people coming in and make sure everyone's safe, and we'll have a really top-notch match. So I'm really excited about it. I'm kind of brushing up on my history of the area and do a little more research, so a little more prepared for that one. But yeah, that's what's next. So it'll be good to do, and we'll see what we got going on this year in the U.S. But yeah, just gonna keep training and practicing, but take some time to kind of do some other stuff besides shooting, because the last 3 months been real focused on it. So, or the last 5 years, but the last 3 months especially, been training a lot. So it's good. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because y'all all made the team intending to shoot in 2020, correct?
Not so good. Yeah.
Yeah. How'd that work out?
Good.
Yeah, that kind of got a little fucked up.
Yeah, 3
but,
years doesn't
hey, dude,
sound that long
it's
after
done
waiting
now. Now
5.
you just got to
Yeah.
look forward to the next
It
one.
really doesn't. I'm like, wow, this is going to come up in next year, you know?
I was on about how I wasn't going to go to South Africa. I was swearing up and down I wasn't going to go. I was telling my wife, like, we're not going there. Like, everyone's got, like, terrible stories from going there. And the second they're like, oh, yeah, it's going to be in South Africa. I'm like, yeah, we'll go.
Yeah.
I'm not going to wait 6 years.
Yeah, South Africa is not that bad, man. So I was hanging out with a lot of South African, like you are IPSC, RD and a few of the other people, and talking to them about it, some of the locals. I mean, we're going to be in an area where it's not bad, and they're going to have, I guess they're going to up security by a lot. And the range is supposed to be nice. It's the Frontier range.
Yeah, my buddy Josh and I are definitely going to go to that
It's going
one.
to be hot.
We're both going to
It'll
have
be good.
rifles, and we're going to sit in the front seat. And if anyone tries stopping us, they're getting whacked. That's all I'm saying. We're talking about our Josh, yes.
Are you talking about our
He's
Josh?
coming with me. He's my guy.
He's coming with me too, motherfucker. I'm bringing him for
There we go.
sure. He's coming with us. No, he's coming with us. Yeah. I've already looked into what vehicles we need to get while we're there. I'm on it. I have some people.
You can rent them.
I'll talk to a few
Luxury
people.
armored vehicles. There we go.
Yeah.
In your travels in Thailand,
I know.
Guys get a,
I'm on it, Chris. I've already told you.
I never actually got one. I wanted
Dude,
to.
those were the best. Dude, I took those everywhere. Oh, dude, you missed out. It was the best way to get around. I would look at my phone because I had a car rental. I'd look and be like, okay, I'm gonna go, X amount of kilometers away to go meet people at a restaurant or something. I'd look on my phone. It's like a 25-minute drive. Dude, I'd walk down, jump on the back of one of those little tuk-tuk mopeds, tell the guy where I'm going. I'd be there in 3.5 minutes. They are tiny, but they put my big ass on there and we got around, dude. And the funny part was the first time I rode one, I'm like kind of nervous, I'm like, you're kind of putting your life in this guy's hands, right? He did not hand me a helmet. He just said, get on. As soon as I sat my ass on there, he goes, put your feet up. I put my feet up. We were off to the races. But after riding them a while, dude, I'm like sitting on the back, texting, making phone calls, not even holding on.
You side saddle on the thing, not even paying attention. Multiple times I saw a family of 4 on a scooter. I'm like, holy hell. Yes.
Yeah. Kid, dad, kid, mom, just
like, all right,
all holding on, dude. With groceries on the side, it was crazy.
All right, I'm gonna get going, guys. I'm gonna take
what a
off.
Life.
Good to see you.
But yeah,
congratulations.
Yeah, I took those everywhere.
Thanks, Mason. Take care.
Good to see.
I'm probably gonna head out here
later, brother.
Too. So get your queue up, Trevor. I know there's a bunch of people wanting to pop on here. So is JJ's waiting to get on? I think.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. JJ's not going to come on here. He doesn't love me enough.
Got it.
I've tried to get him on here for a while. He's not about that life. Yeah. Let's see who else we got rolling around here.
Very happy. It's fun.
But so how happy are you to be home, dude?
It's like, all right, it's time to get home and get back to business and everything. And I have plenty of projects to work on here. I'm studying for a CFP, Certified Financial Planner. So I'm working on that license, and it's like I start studying starting Monday. My first kind of test is coming up. So I got to start studying for that. But on top of that, this project coming back from the World Shoot, besides just like equipment maintenance and going through that sort of stuff, and planning different training and getting belt rigs set up and what I'm working on. Besides that, I have a vlog to take care of, a match video, a match breakdown, photos, just like a lot of responsibilities from the match and posts and different things. So just trying to take care of all the responsibilities and work on those projects. But there'll be a lot of fun things coming out. But Jenna, IG bug, that's weird.
Hell yeah. IG bug tried a few things and
It's
I really
weird.
joined. Yeah,
But
I've been trying to get her on here the
She's
whole
real cool
time. It's
gal
not working
and
for some
awesome shooter
reason.
too, and her and the whole US team
Yeah,
is
yeah.
real happy. So that was awesome. I think that one of the coolest things was seeing Morgan shoot and obviously crush it. Morgan's a little beast. I mean, she's 15 years old and like, yeah, she's obviously a really, really great person and very mature for her age, like talking to adults. Like I remember when I was 15, like I was real social and talking with all of them, but she is definitely like very similar in that regard and how she handled herself. So if she wants to do this, she definitely can long term, which is pretty cool. And she's just getting started. Yeah, she just dominated. I remember going down to Biloxi, Mississippi, and she was in a class down there and kind of dialed in her stance and her grip, and she just started crushing it even more and more. And then her personally putting a lot of work, as I can tell, and she's doing really good. Her dad's awesome. Shot with him a little bit before too, and met the mom and the whole family, and they're real nice. So, yeah, U.S. ladies held it down. That's for sure. Oh my gosh.
What's up, guys?
Oh, we got the boys. Are y'all? What are y'all doing? Are y'all on a camp coming back from the clubs or what?
That's what we're talking about.
I know. I know.
They're still in Bangkok,
Hey,
Chris.
Christian, you look great. You guys great.
Oh, I miss you guys.
We're signing off, but hey, killing the podcast.
Yeah, you guys are doing very well.
Keep it up.
Hey, everyone, like and subscribe.
Thanks, buddy. Get home safe.
All right.
Yeah, everyone like and subscribe from Bangkok.
Those are the boys right there. They're awesome. It was really
Later,
good
dude.
to meet him and good seeing Chris and everything.
Those
But
guys are
anyways, Trev, I'm gonna head off. You guys have a good rest of the podcast, and I'm frozen. Oh, so you're good there. But yeah, again, take care of business and everything. Have a
You're
good
not
podcast,
frozen. You're still there.
We'll have to do a legit
yeah.
one, kind of full recap eventually, which would be good. So.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Definitely.
We're gonna go through the whole thing. Maybe when your schedule settles down here in a couple weeks. I'm not doing a podcast from Monday to Saturday of next week because I'm gonna be in Mexico getting hammered with the wife.
Thank you.
Hell yeah. It's going to be a good time. But, dude, congratulations again, man. I know we're all so fucking proud of you. I mean, it was cool. Personally, for me, it was cool just to get to watch it in person, to see. And I'll tell you, the coolest part of watching it in person was seeing the effect you had on the other shooters. To watch the way you would shoot the stages and your composure, and then I would look around and watch everyone's face. Like as soon as you got done shooting, I would turn to look and see what they were doing. And the look on their face, day 2, 3, and 4 told me what I needed to know. I was like, I told your mom, I said, this kid's got it in the fucking bag. And she was like, you think? I'm like, I could see it in everyone's face. I mean, you could see it in guys who have won world titles before. Who have been there 6, 7, 8, 9 times, just that they were defeated by like day 3 in their own head. It was awesome
amazing to shoot with. Like everyone was super supportive, and like I would honestly go as far to say it's the best squad I've ever shot with, ever. And I primarily worked with the Australians and the U.S. team. I mean, I couldn't ask for like a better team atmosphere. Like it was really good. A lot of the team guys said it was like one of the most positive, or I wouldn't say the best, well, maybe say the best, but the best or one of the best like squads of U.S. guys, meaning the way that we interacted and worked with each other. I mean, we all wanted each other to have the highest score possible. So they're real supportive. I mean, I would come off the line, get all 3 guys together and say, hey, this is what I saw. Here's the swing your timing. Make sure your foot's here. Make sure if this partial here looks a little bit further under the gun. Make sure you're in here. Do this. You can push out on this one a little bit. This is the timing. Make sure you press the pad of the front. Like all that sort of stuff. Bill and KC and Chris Tilley are all doing the same thing. Chris was right after me, so it was a little bit different with him. But we would go through and we all do like kind of the insert word check, like dummy check, right? To make sure that we're all on the same page, make sure we weren't forgetting any targets, doing anything silly. So we kind of recap and make sure we're good to go. So it was honestly just a privilege to shoot with all those guys, and everyone was super supportive, which was really cool. The Australian team, it was awesome to shoot with. Brody, Reese, Scott,
Love those
and then and
guys.
Grant as well. Those guys were awesome. Real good crew of guys, and same with them. I mean, we were real open, sharing plans, and it was very apparent that we were all on the same page. Especially our two teams, we talked the most together. We said, hey, if any of us are going to win this match, we want everyone to have all the information and shoot their best. So that was the plan there. And then Jorge was also in the squad. He was awesome. A very gracious champion. He was a great champion, and a lot of respect for that guy. I thoroughly thought that we were going to be, me up 10, him down 10, 10 up, me up 20, just a dogfight the entire time. And, he didn't shoot as well as he wanted to. And I totally understand that and sympathize with him with that. But it's a competition, is what it is. And, but yeah, it was real fun. He's an amazing guy. His whole family was there. His sister's great. His mom and dad. So it was real cool to meet them, and just a privilege. And I think probably one of the coolest things in the match is at the end, him and I changed jerseys and took a picture with it. So I thought that was really cool. And I think probably one of my favorite pictures, besides like me and my parents together, besides those pictures, I think that was probably my favorite picture of the entire match. It was real cool. So real supportive squad. But yeah, I was just in the zone. I mean, I didn't feel pressure on any of the stages besides the first one. I knew exactly the job that I needed to do, and anytime I started feeling kind of worked up, I just channeled it and focused it. And I really didn't talk much socially when I was at the match. I just sat down, focused. I was sitting in the chair, just staying dialed, staying awake, jumping around, staying on top of everything. I also slept really well at this match, which I think helped me a ton. Like I've been having no, not really.
Was your bed soft?
Yeah. I actually stayed in that
Golly, mine
on the
either.
way back, and I had never slept in a harder bed in my entire life. It was like, imagine sleeping on a plywood sheet, right? Like a hard plywood sheet, and then put like a tiny blanket, or put like a pillow, and you're sitting on a pillow. It was the worst bed I've ever slept on. But not the bed aside, I just made sure I got like 8+ hours, like 10 hours of sleep. I was adjusted to the time zone. This historically, because I was having like some sleep problems with I had strep throat. My tonsils have been giving me some problems. I'm getting surgery and getting them removed. But I had a lot of sleep problems over the past couple months. But the week before Open Nats, I got strep and really having some like breathing sleep problems. And so I've been doing that with my training, having like problems sleeping and everything. And so I just know that I need to get a lot more sleep to allow myself to fully recover. So I felt really fresh every single day, which was cool, even though we were waking up at 4 a.m. in the morning. So I felt really good. So I felt just dialed and on top of everything, and was really focused and locked in. So it's probably the most locked in and comfortable I've ever felt at a match. Just because I've been picturing it forever, I feel comfortable with my training and was ready to go.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, it was definitely, I'm glad I was there to witness it, as you're my boy,
I've
been rooting for you since 2019, 2018 even when I first met you.
It was 2018, 19.
Oh my God, when was that? It was Area 3 2019. 2018? 2019. Yeah. That's when
Appreciate it.
Yeah, that's when the broship started, man. But dude, I can't tell you how proud I am. I know everyone else is, and I know when I was up there, dude, my DMs were getting blown up with people like, "Is it official? Is it official? Is it official?" And then when it was, I posted the video of you, and dude, hundreds and hundreds of people reached out to my Instagram and were like, "Tell Chris awesome, tell Chris awesome." So, dude, I'm telling you, it was legit. You're always and forever a world champion.
I gotta
Nobody can ever take that away from you, no matter what.
Feel good after the match, because right now my mind, my personality type is, what's next? All right, what's the next match? But I was mentioning the other day, I gotta find this, but I have this little notebook. It's from the 2013 MGM Junior Camp with Max Michel. He's like, write down your goals, and like your shooting goals. So I was like, oh no, let's think about this logically. Okay, win a local match, win a sectional match, win a state match, win an area match, win a nationals, win a world shoot. And I was like, well, dang, that was at the top of the list. I crossed off all the things, like what's next. So I don't know. No retirement in sight, but winning more. And it's like, I thought I wanted to go shoot limited and stuff. And like people are like, oh, you're an open shooter, dot shooter, whatever. And it's like, no, I've been shooting irons for a long, long time. And so I brought my CZ Shadow out here, so I'll shoot that a little bit.
Q, Q limited 10
Yeah, I
nets
want to
when
shoot
you just decided to
2011
show up on a
switching
whim
the
and put
grips and
like 8 or
platforms around
9% on
real like
everyone.
back to back is not ideal. So I want to shoot 2011. But now I have more time to do that, and they have limited by itself. So that would be pretty fun, and I obviously enjoyed that. But the problem is just personality wise, and what my goals are. I never want to show up to a match unprepared because, in my opinion, with the training and preparation that I can do and where I can be, I'm very confident in my abilities to win any match in any division at any time. I just need to have that preparation and training. So if I don't want to go and kind of like half-ass any match and just show up because I want to, but I just end up being disappointed in my result because even when I win, I'm always disappointed in the stages and how I shot, and I would just compound that if I wasn't 100%, fully sharpened, fully ready to go with whatever platform I was shooting. So, I guess like last year, I was planning on shooting Care Optics Nationals, and I realized that I wasn't able to put as much time into that as I wanted to. I was good to go, in my opinion. I still could have gone there and won the match, but just to be happy with myself and proud of the performance that I would put on, I wanted to make sure I put all the training that I wanted to in the Care Optics division. But the main thing was also preparing for World Shoot and having more time behind the gun. Because if you really want to be as tuned up with a gun as possible, I mean, wherever you look, the bullets go, you have to stick with one platform for quite some time and have some matches and have some stages and have some pressure behind it. So that's why I decided just to stick with the open gun for that. But yeah, 3 years kind of play around a little bit. Would not be surprised if you saw me show up with like a production gun, do an area match this year. I mean, some stuff like that would definitely be pretty fun to do. So I don't know. I've seen Eric shoot production match, and I was watching Eduardo practice.
Hey,
I was like, yeah, that would
yo.
be fun. Shoot a little 9mm gun, gentle on the hands and everything. So it'd be cool.
Yeah, we got to see you defend that World Open title though.
What were
Yeah,
you
yeah, I
saying?
can hear you.
Yes. No, that's definitely
I
the
said we
plan. That's definitely the
got to
plan.
see
I'm
you
really
defend
excited
that
about it.
World Open title though.
That is true.
Or you could
That is
just
true. I wish
win
this was a
one
little
in
while
every
ago. I would have won the
division
World
too. That'd be
Shoot
kind of
back
cool.
in 2020 when I was 20 years old. I would have been a junior too. It would have been really interesting. But yeah, I mean, it was really cool. I felt really confident going into the match, and it was cool. It was just real confidence through training and testing myself and shooting really hard stuff and really pushing myself and humbling myself a lot in my training, which is kind of cool. I mean, that's why I kind of like just practicing by myself because I really don't like looking like an ass in front of other people, but it's cool to have a training partner locally. His name's Anthony Felder, and I've looked like an idiot plenty of times in front of him shooting some no shoots and stuff, but we push each other and shoot some really hard stuff. And we're shooting 35 yards inside and shooting headshots and just crazy stuff. So felt real comfortable. I mean, I was talking to you before I came into the match, and I was watching your videos, and I was just licking my lips like everything looks close. No, it wasn't actually that close in reality, but everything looked right up my alley. Yeah, I mean, I guess I looked close when I walked.
Looks close
on
on
the camera.
the
It kind of
camera,
fisheyes
but
a little bit, but yeah, it was cool. But yeah, just looking forward to get back to training too. I mean, I do want to relax a little bit and shift focus a little bit, but I didn't. And I came back. I was expecting to want to take a break, but I have my CZ Shadow over there, looking like a snack, ready to go dry fire a little bit. So it's good.
yeah, I thought the same thing. Like, get back, take a break, pick it back up after Christmas. As soon as I got back, I started, looking into my performance
Yeah,
and the footage,
that'll
and
be good. I'm
went,
also excited to focus a little
no,
more on the
you don't
physical
deserve a
fitness
break. Let's
element.
get back to work.
I'm in good shape and very athletic and stay on top of that sort of stuff. But I'm really excited to get back to kind of where I used to be. I mean, I made a decision like 6 months ago, and I said, with the time I have, it's either going to be the physical fitness element or the shooting element. And in reality, I have the physical fitness level right now to not lose anything, right? I'm not going to gain a ton by getting a lot more fit, but I really want to feel real confident going to the South Africa World Shoot and get back in that. But just time-wise, it was just focusing on the shooting. So we're going to get running back again. I mean, I don't think a lot of people know, but I ran cross country in high school and played baseball, and it kind of had like a totally different physique. I'm a lot bigger, a lot stronger now, so it'd be good to get keep working on that sort of stuff. Dude, I was 140 pounds. I'm 180 now.
Yeah, when I
but,
first
I
met
also
you,
can
you
lift
were
a
a
lot
skinny
more and
little
a lot
guy.
stronger and kind of grew into my body a little bit. But it'll be good
I
for
know.
sure. Yeah, definitely a
Yeah.
little different.
Get that man strength. It's a little different.
Yeah, that'll
Give it
be
another
good. It's
10.
funny. I
Give
go to
it
I play in
another
this little
10
softball
years,
league in the
man.
summer, and I just barely touch these balls and I just go flying. I'm like, where was this in high school? You know, that would have helped me out a lot better, you know, but yeah. So it's cool, kind of growing your body a little bit
Yeah,
more.
no
But yeah,
shit.
looking through these pictures, it's pretty cool to see. I don't know if you saw the match photos and everything, but cool shoot off photos, and they had photographers everywhere. You see like gas coming out of the porch and everything. So I think I may need to make a little post tonight. We'll see. It'll be good. Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. We could,
Definitely.
yeah, you get enough
I
photos,
I
the
got
whole
some cool
reel,
photos
the whole
from it
gallery
too.
you can use them for forever. So it's pretty cool. But anyways, this is good. This is good to set a date on this morning because, at noon for me, because I was definitely just real trying to relax and sleep in. So you got me up, you got me dialed, got me on my computer. So I'm ready to seize the day here. So anyways, Trevor, good seeing you. We had a great time in Patia. It was good hanging out
Let's
with you and good seeing you on
go.
the range and everything. So appreciate your support and take care, bro. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Hell yeah, brother. I'll talk to you later. Bye, champ. So the experience that I had at this whole world shoot was awesome. I mean, I had a blast with some really cool people, got to meet a bunch of really awesome people, got to eat some good food, got to see some cool shit. But, above all, the experience in of itself was just once in a lifetime. I'm glad I was able to go. It was kind of a last minute thing for me. I was at Pan American, and I don't remember when that was, like October, or maybe November, somewhere in there. And Ghost was like, "Hey, you ready for the world shoot?" And I was like, "I mean, yeah, I'm not going, but yeah." And they're like, "No, no, no, we signed you up. You're going." So at last minute, I decided to go, and I'm glad I did. It was a once in a lifetime experience that I'm very grateful that I was able to have. And I'm not happy with where I finished. Obviously, I was shooting really, really well, and then sustained a back injury on one of the stages. I'll post that video eventually, but it it kind of very, very, very much limited my ability to be aggressive. So then I just decided, hey, I'm just going to shoot as many points as I can, and from then on, just tried to shoot all alphas and see where it ended up. And it's not terrible, but not great. I shot good points, 94% of points, but my time was subpar to say the least. Um, but hey, first world shoot under the belt. Next time I'll go and try to put a hurting on some people. But for now, I'm just gonna sit back and enjoy it. It was really cool. I'm trying to get Jay in here, but she is not able to join, which sucks. Don't know why. And then Kevin hasn't updated his damn Instagram, so I can't add him because he didn't have the latest version. What's up with these people, man? Signing out now. Have a good time. Yep, yep. See you later. Yeah, I'm glad I was pushed to go to. It was a great experience. But I'm gonna do a little more coverage on it at a later date, probably, unless I just get talked into doing it here. But it doesn't look like everybody is coming in. Let me see here. Maybe I can roll through and get another guest in here. Maybe we might get lucky. But yeah, I mean, it was just a super awesome experience that I was glad I was able to have. Um, wouldn't take it back if I could do it over again. I'd definitely have my wife there, but late notice trip, she wasn't able to make it. But it was pretty cool. 21 days in Thailand was a lot. Um, oh, it was exhausting. It was fun. It was an emotional roller coaster, a physical roller coaster. It was everything a world shoot should be, I guess. But hey, we did it. We made it back in one piece, and that's really all you can ask for. So I'm gonna have one more last ditch effort to get in here. Ooh, you know who I want to bring in? Let's see if she'll do it. Let's see if she'll do it. This would be clowning. This would be clowning if it can happen. We'll see. Uh, Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. I tried to be a huge asset as much as I could be. If you would update your Instagram, I've been trying to get you on here for like an hour, but you gotta update your iPhone, man. Um, by the way, your daughter is a beast. Morgan, I'm gonna have Morgan on here at a later date, probably when I get back from Mexico, to talk about her experience at World Shoot. Winning High Lady as a junior, as a 15-year-old junior, was unreal. But yeah, it was super cool to watch. And then her composure through the whole thing, it's like it didn't even phase her. It wasn't, she was just on point the whole time. It was crazy. Her maturity level was super impressive. I couldn't believe it. I mean, it was pretty crazy. Let's see. Oh, we got Matthew Nash in here. Let's add Matthew. Ah, damn. I was trying to get Christian's mom in here, but I kind of figured she wasn't going to do it. Talk about it with her. But let's see if Matt will come in. There we go.
Yeah.
What's
Good
up,
to
dude?
see him again.
Oh, you got the
How you doing?
kid there. Hell yeah. Yeah, man. I'm good, bro.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
good.
Like
I
you, I
am
kind of wish my
blessed. How are
family
you,
was
man?
with
You
me.
excited to be home now?
It's kind of 2020 hindsight. I had originally planned to take my family, but I was kind of talking to JJ and some of my friends' wives were kind of on the fence, like Wansick's wife and Casey Reed's, given, the COVID situation earlier on when we were talking. So we just couldn't get there, and I just didn't feel comfortable kind of leaving my family, the long days at the match and stuff. But kind of looking back at it now, I kind of wish I did. I saw Blake brought his family and stuff, and there was enough Americans there with family that I think my wife and son would have been all right, and I would have felt a lot better too having them there.
Yeah, I think anytime you have that support system around you, it just it's less. I know for me, having my family back here, that was kind of constantly in the back of my head. I wish they were here to see this. Every time I saw something awesome, I was like, I wish I could share this with my wife. So I know the
Yeah.
struggle of that, and I mean, and then the struggle of them being
And this
home
one
because
was
at the end, like, I
tough.
wonder
I
what's
travel a
going
lot with
on. Are they
work and stuff.
okay?
This
Is
one was
everything
kind of tough because
good?
it's on the other side of the world. So, like, we're going to bed when they're waking up, and, time was very limited to FaceTime with them and stuff. And, my son's 3. He kind of doesn't really understand, what's going on. He knows I'm shooting. So it was tough. But, they were healthy, safe.
Yeah.
They had a good time for Thanksgiving, and it was a good match. I did get to put a lot of my focus on the match. So, you know.
Yeah, let's talk about let's talk about your experience, man. Let's talk about what was your
Honestly, I
favorite
got to
part of
shoot
this
with
match
Mason
as
and
a whole?
Casey. I kind of got really lucky, as Mason said. A lot of luck has to happen just to get to go. And you know, there's a couple people in production that were ahead of me for the team. So I was originally just thinking I was going to get the slot, get some experience, kind of like yourself, and then roll back for one more world shoot. I'm kind of getting up there in age, so South Africa for me is going to be more about physical fitness than it is necessarily just shooting. So that's a bigger commitment. But it was kind of cool to get to shoot with Mason and Casey. I felt right at home, and I think it showed in my results. I was very consistent. Nothing really rattled me. I kind of know I've reflected a little bit. I know where I got to improve, so I'm kind of excited. You know, but that was probably my favorite part. And then right along, getting to see Eric shoot. It was my second time getting to see him shoot. And seeing him leave a little bit of meat on the bone, hearing him talk about how he still has his heart racing on the first stage of World Shoot after all these years, kind of was a cool experience to kind of get to learn from him. And he's not really snobby. He'll share a lot of his thoughts and his processing. And to have a world champion be able to share that information is invaluable. You just put it in your toolbox and carry it forward.
Yeah, man, just being
Yeah,
there
that was my first
was
one.
awesome. Now this is your first world
No,
shoot,
I
right?
did Extreme
Is
Euro.
it was this your first international
And
match as
I
well?
mean, you can't really Puerto Rico's. Extreme Euro was my first proper one. 10 stages a day. half-day format. So that was intense. One of the best matches,
just
honestly.
signed up for that. So I'm gonna have to pick your brain about that a little bit.
Definitely be fit for
we'll
that
talk
one.
after the podcast. But so it wasn't your first international match. Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. But so it wasn't your first international match, but your first world shoot. What was going through your head when you first walked into
that was awesome.
that
I
opening
got to see you there and
ceremony?
everybody. I knew there was going to be a lot of representation there, but I think my expectations were really low coming off COVID. I just really didn't think about it. But when you saw all the countries and all the shooters and how happy everybody was there to represent something collectively, in a world atmosphere, that was awesome. And then it kind of, once you take that in, you kind of see all the American flags, and I saw you brought one, and then it kind of, you see the people walking out with United States in front of all of us, kind of walking around and everyone clapping, everyone there with the kind of a similar mindset of just coming there to have fun, do a sport, share some camaraderie. It was that really kind of set the tone for I think the entire week we were there, right, or a couple weeks. And I thought the ceremony was done well.
Yep.
It's kind of hard. Like, you don't want to, if it goes long, everyone kind of gets tired. If it goes short, people don't feel like it's a very fine line. We're not talking like, 20, 30 minutes. We're talking like that's a 10-minute threshold to hit, and how do you gauge people's attitudes? I thought they hit it pretty good. The Thai came out and did some, shows and exhibits that ran on a little bit, but I thought it was pretty healthy. No drawn out hour-long speeches, really. I thought they did a great job, and I thought they were a great host.
Yeah, I thought it went. I thought it was just long enough to be like, okay, this is awesome, this is special, and just short enough to where I wasn't trying to think about.
And when you think about
this
throwing
wasn't
an
much,
event to organize
it was
all that,
pretty cool. It was pretty cool.
It's not easy, to get everybody rallied up, organized, structured. I thought they did pretty well. They had it pretty well organized, and the venue was pretty cool too. Yeah.
It was definitely pretty badass. And then what was going through your head on when you're making ready for
I've been
your
an
first
athlete
stage?
for a long time,
How
both in
nervous were
college
you?
and in high school. So like, I'm not shy to the first jitters. The difference is most of my sports are always contact sports, so you can kind of get it out in a different way. But I've also been competing for 7 years, and I've traveled internationally. I've gone to a lot of nationals. I really just thrive on majors nowadays, and that's because I'm trying to replicate that pressure, right? So I say all that because I'm very, very self-aware. I reflect a lot, and coming up to the match, I was like, wow, we're loading up, everything feels the same. Am I nervous? I'm like, no, not any more nervous than I would be. Literally, we were getting ready. I was on deck. I was going through focusing on my process, which starts usually when I'm in the hole. And my process was going perfect. And I get up there, and I had one more thought. I'm like, do I need to do anything? I talked to Jake Hetherington and Sal Luna. They gave me some advice, and I'm like, I don't really need to apply some of those tricks. I'm doing pretty good. And then he goes, make ready. And I remember I grabbed my magazine, and I go to kind of turn the gun to insert it, and my hand's shaking. And I'm like, great. I'm like, all right, I have some methods to calm this down, but as you know, the pace is much faster. They want you to load and go. And I had to start on the tree trunk stage where you got to grab it with one hand and lean around. First stage, and I said,
oh wow, that was your first stage?
Positives, right? So I'm like, all right, I get to start strong hand though. If my hands are shaking, I'd rather be strong hand than weak hand. So I'm reinforcing like good things, and it wasn't that bad. Once the buzzer went off, it wasn't horrendous. It was slow. Everybody else was kind of slow on that stage starting off, and I knew I had a lot of the good shooters on my squad, so I'm like, all right, not a lot of damage there. Move off this. It's a long match. It didn't really affect me that much, but yeah, it was crazy how when he said make ready and I grabbed the magazine, that's when all the nerves came. But the cool part of that is, you know, I think Casey had a little rough one on that one, or Mason. And I remember we're all huddling up, just trying to keep the mood light on the second bay, because, you know, they pace and everything. So we get to, you know, as you know, we get to walk to the next bay. And Eric comes up to us and he goes, he made it kind of a funny comment to all of us. And he goes, you know, all these years later, and, you know, make ready. And my heart starts racing. And I'm like, well, the world champion, multi-world champions got his heart racing, or his heart racing. It's normal. But yeah, I was surprised. I haven't had that happen in a long, long time. I think the last time I felt that was at a state championship in college, right when the kickoff went, and I was like, wow. And I was like, I never really felt that before, where it just all kind of came unexpectedly.
Yeah, it just came rushing back. Yeah, it was similar for me. I felt the same way. You know, when I first started shooting in the sport, I would get nervous like that. But now, you know, like nationals
Yeah,
and
it's
stuff,
crazy, right?
I don't get very nervous. And I was first shooter on the first stage, and it was stage 13 with the beams where you run through and you got the monkey. I'm sitting there and I just kind of was like, dude, this is actually happening right now. I'm about to hammer down at the world shoot. Like, holy shit. And then same situation. I go to load my mag, dude, and I load my mag, rack it, and then as I'm putting the gun back in the holster, my gun, you know, you have to sit and rock it in. It's a ghost. I'm like trying to find the tip of the barrel to rock it in. I'm like, holy shit, I need to take a second. So then the guy, the RO, was nice enough. He saw me kind of shaking in my holster. He put his hand on my shoulder, and I turn around. I'm like, that fuck up already? And he goes, hey, relax. It's okay. Are you ready? And I'm like, all right, let's fucking do this. You
That's
know,
a good point.
I
We did
hadn't
have
felt
some
that in a
seasoned
while.
ROs that
It was a wild
did
experience.
subtle things like that aren't necessarily in their skill set as an RO, but you can see the experience come out, right? To like notice that, kind of relax you. There are other little things, I'm trying to think of them, but I'm like, you know, that's kind of a seasoned RO right there. Like, it's more about the experience than just officiating, right?
Yeah. Yeah. They were, dude, the ROs. I mean, obviously everyone had their issues, you know, like with any
Yep.
match. I mean, I'm sure, you know, people wish that the delegating went smoother or what have you.
Yeah, look,
But
think about
as a
the
whole,
big things,
that's the
right? The big
best
ticket
officiating I've
items,
seen at
the
a match,
pace.
bar
The
none.
pace was phenomenal. I don't think we waited on any really stages. I didn't see any stages really have major errors or malfunctions. You know, I think there's always going to be human error when you have thousands of hours going into something and you got, you know, people under the heat doing repetition. You're going to have some human error. And you know, looking back, I wish I would have been a little bit more diligent in checking my scores or thinking about it, but it's kind of hard. You can only consume so much to where you're, you know, you got to prevent wearing yourself out mentally. But
For sure.
Not too much. How are you?
What's up,
Kaylee
okay?
Lane, what's up,
I am in a
dog?
car. We are going to
Are you in a
Phil
car?
Schroeder's house for a non-Christmas party.
A non-denominational Christmas party.
Yeah.
Oh, non-denominational Christmas party.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm glad I caught you now and not on the way home from that party. So
It
real
was my
quick,
first
let's talk about was this your first world shoot? How nervous were you on your first stage?
I was not that nervous. The second they said make ready, I swear, like, instantly my hands were shaking like crazy.
Literally
I am here. Am I?
Oh, hold on. Are you there?
So I would say before
right, there we go. All right,
said make
repeat
ready,
what you
I
just
was
said.
totally fine, and then the second they said make ready, I was like hand shaking like crazy. And I'd say that lasted for 2 stages because
Yeah,
I had to go. I was early up. I remember on the stage with the wall where you had to switch hands, and I was really nervous of that because I'm like, oh my god, I don't want to DQ on my first world shoot. So that I'd say the shakiness lasted for 2 stages, and then I was better.
Hell yeah. Well,
Thanks.
you shot awesome
Yeah.
as well.
Yep.
I know you're probably not happy with your performance, just like everybody else seems to be. But I mean, you represented the U.S. like a beast. You know, super proud of you guys.
Very
How
good,
was your
honestly.
experience
Like, for my
overall?
first world shoot, I was really happy just to like get it under my belt and, you know, be able to experience it. The stages were incredible, obviously. So overall, I mean, I thought it was great for my first experience.
Yeah.
Um,
What was your favorite part of the whole thing?
I don't know if I can necessarily describe like a favorite part. I obviously the location was super cool. You know, being able to experience Thailand like for any reason, like the cool thing about our sport is it takes us all over the world. So that was really cool, and the stages were incredible. But overall, I mean, it was just the experience. That was the best part to me.
So Mason didn't answer this question, but I know you guys well enough to know how many stray dogs did y'all come home with?
You know,
Be honest.
I was talking to Bob Young about it. I was like, the only issue is I don't think I'm going to get through the airport with a dog and a gun. Like, you can't get away with both. If I just had a dog, it'd probably be okay. If I just had a gun, it's okay, obviously. But a stray dog from another country and a gun, probably not going to work out. We had all the dogs on our street named, though. Like, they were all had names. We were feeding them. It was incredible.
We had that issue at our Airbnb. Leighton's wife decided that she was going to feed all the neighborhood animals.
Oh, were they?
And big mistake. Big mistake.
Oh no.
They were everywhere. As soon as we put food out there, they were like, "Oh, this is where we get food? All right, cool. We'll see you in 10 minutes." And it was just they never left type deal. It was hilarious.
Was yelling at us for that
But
reason. He did not want us all to feed the
ahead.
dogs. And we were like, Dave, screw you. We're feeding the dogs.
I figured that y'all would come home with one. I figured y'all would find one that you just couldn't get rid of, and it would end up in your carry-on or some crazy shit like that.
Now,
is that an inside joke? I got to hear the story.
You can go for it.
All right, so the neighborhood mom dog, the boss dog, we named Millie, and she was this cute orange dog. And anyway, she was always like dead center in the middle of the road, like in this 4-way intersection whenever we came through. Well, at some point, a chunk of the road like fell in, like it was like a serious sinkhole when, like right in the same spot she would always be. It wasn't. It was pretty decent sized. You could hide in there, like. But anyway, Casey at one point, we're like 100 yards from this thing, and it's nighttime, and he's like, "Oh, look at Millie! Look at her! She's standing up over there." And I instantly just turned to him and I'm like, "Casey, that is a cone." It was a cone.
We're
it was pretty funny.
Trying to get some HD prescription.
That's hilarious.
Never missed out.
Oh, yep. Oh, he's always around.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But
it's Mason.
What is that racket? Who's not wearing a seatbelt?
Out of the car. Oh, I'm lagging.
Oh, okay. Oh, are y'all there?
No, we're stopped at a gas station.
Are there already?
Buy chips because we didn't make anything for the party. Exactly.
just wing it, get
Normally,
some waves up in this bitch.
our thing this year has been buffalo chicken dip. And I was like, oh, we'll make buffalo chicken dip, and then I did not do anything all day. So I worked this morning, and I was like, yeah, I'm not making buffalo chicken dip. Yeah.
Yeah, hell no. And y'all do real
Exactly.
work, farm work. Yeah. It's not exactly a 9-to-5 office
Yeah,
job.
no.
It's like, I don't feel like making the
I
buffalo
was like,
chicken dip because I
yeah,
missed my lunch break.
I did a few horses this morning, did some farm work, and then I was like, yeah, I'm gonna sit on my butt the rest of the day.
Hell yeah. So let's go to the shooting aspect. How happy are you or unhappy are you with your performance? I hope you're a little more optimistic than these guys I've had on before you, because they all seem like they want to run into traffic.
No.
Oh, I'm here.
Oh,
Am I here?
I think we lost her.
Am I
Kaylee?
back? Okay, sorry.
There we
My limits, I
go.
would
Now you're
say
here. Yeah, now you're
I was
here.
a little bit conservative, which I guess for a match like that isn't horrible. The biggest thing, I think my biggest complaint about like US matches don't necessarily prepare us for a match like that. So the moving sequences, the swinging plates, stuff like that, that's what really, really killed me. A lot of the like just plain shooting, it wasn't bad for me. Like I shot to my potential on that stuff. But like the swinging plates and the really tough moving sequences, I mean, we just don't have stuff like that in the US. I wish we did too.
I wish we did.
I talked to E-Man about that too, and he was walking around asking. He's like, "What's some of your takeaways on the match?" And I said, "We got, at least at the higher level majors, we got to get some of the difficulty up there to prepare shooters for this." And I also think USP is encouraging shooters to go experience more IPSC matches. It's not a bad thing. It's just you're just increasing your network of a community you like. So
yeah.
I had this conversation with Leighton. Obviously, we were rooming together, me, him, and Christopher, and we sat down and said, we're going to take our major match budget, so to speak, and try to dedicate 4 matches that are matches like this, that are international IPSC matches, because the difficulty of the match, the camaraderie amongst the shooters, the experience as a whole just seems to be elevated to a level that we haven't been able to achieve in the US. And I wish we could, because, dude, y'all saw it walking around.
Yeah,
I mean,
incredible.
How cool were the people? Yeah, the whole experience as a whole was nuts. I mean, especially for guys like, Mason and JJ and Nils. I mean, Mason probably. Mason, how many shirts did you sign? How many shirts did you sign and have to give away and do all that type of stuff and punch pictures?
That's one of the
how
things.
often
Is
did you
like
get mobbed?
it makes you feel special at first, and then do pictures and everything, and then you realize that like there's a huge constituency of Asian shooters, and I guess part of the Asian culture in general is they just take pictures of people all the time. Like I saw people that get like I'd absolutely never heard of, and like obviously by watching them shoot, you're like, oh yeah, like this guy probably shoots around, and like his reputation precedes him, but it doesn't mean you're like a pro shooter or anything like that. But yeah, they're really big on that there. I was super stoked. I got to do a jersey swap with Eric, so that was a pretty cool souvenir to get. And then I kept my other shirt.
Hell yeah, dude, that's awesome. Yeah, but I just the culture at the matches was just unreal. How nice the people were, how much it felt like a big event. Like y'all have been to I don't know how many nationals. Y'all probably been to triple the amount I have, but the event as a whole just feels
like
larger.
And obviously, I mean, it's a world shoot, so there should be a lot of care put in. But it's obvious there is no expense of resources, effort, anything. It's like, okay, this is what we want complete, and what do we need to do to get there?
It would be interesting to see like how the financials work out to achieve
Yeah.
that. Like, is that Big Ipsic putting up a lot of money? Did CZ just go crazy and fund a lot of that? Like, it would be very interesting because, yeah, I agree. There were no spared resources.
I wouldn't.
Like, I remember there was like one concern late in the game, and
So-
maybe Trevor, you can answer this, but in the bottom bays, I think where we finished, K, the bottom bays, they challenged that, hey, we might have some light challenges, like as far as environment light because of the tree coverage. So they got like, I heard that they went and got external lights, which they didn't need, but they had like 2 light stands on every single bay. Did they have that, Trevor, when you were shooting the match? So I mean, like right there,
No.
one
That came in
raised
day
issue,
one.
and not
Day
even
one,
really
they
like
started
we had
moving those
Luke
in.
at one. That's an inside joke too. Not even like we had people shooting in the dark that complained. Just a raised concern, and they just throw money at the problem to fix it just in case. Like, okay, and those probably aren't cheap to like mobilize, rent, and get in.
Yeah.
Like that was probably a couple $1,000s easy.
In the U.S., those usually are about $8 a day
Okay.
if you're renting long term, to $8 to $10 a day. So it's not crazy. When you think about the amount that they had, yes, it's an up there
I was just
expense.
and
But
and
in
then just the
Thailand,
time
that's
they pulled the
probably
trigger
not
so
nearly as
quick without a
expensive as it
major
is
issue
here.
really driving it. You know, it's just like, a concern? Okay, we'll fix it just in case.
Yeah, some of the other things like those stages where you have like almost a raised bed with the gravel, that came about
Yeah.
like pretty early in the match, you know, stuff
Yep.
like that. It was awesome. And like I said, I literally when it was raining on us in the pre-match, there was a guy on our stage who was lifting the fault line and sweeping the water out between shooters.
That's it. It's
That's
like
just
the
bananas
care. Like
to think about.
Serious care for creating this high event is cool.
I think it's good to see like the attention to detail, and especially when it comes to equity issues like with the lighting and all of that, and like the surface and all that stuff. Like I think that's the sort of thing we should be striving for. But I do think it's important to remember, like even for big IPSC in a world level event with all the money that goes into that, this is still a once every 3 years competition. I don't think it's realistic to look at that and think like that we can replicate the pomp and circumstance of the entire thing every single year in America. You know what I mean?
No,
definitely
I mean
increase
not
the
to that
pace if
extent, but we
at
could
the
get
higher level.
The
somewhat
part that
better
matters to
about
me
it,
anyway
you know?
is the you're talking about experience.
Sounds like
They
you're
live in
talking
the country,
into a
Trevor.
potato.
Oh, sorry.
I know. I keep forgetting they're farm
I love
people.
Case.
I couldn't hear any of that.
It was smart.
I'm sure it was so insightful. I'm sure it was so intellectually planned and thoughtful. Now you're perfect. Now you're perfect. Say it again.
I don't probably already heard the first part I said, but like it's the attention to detail for the competitor experience at the match is all stuff that it doesn't really cost that much to do, and like there's no reason we can't do that. The stage composition, like moving towards having stages that test skills in a more effective way, like we talked about when Christian was on, like there's no reason we can't do that. But the overall pomp and circumstance of the event, of having this larger than life opening awards and closing awards and, you know, paid resetters and all that stuff, like it's not really super realistic to think we can do that every single year for USPSA, or God forbid multiple times per year. Like I don't really think that's what we're shooting for. But the stuff that affects the competitor at the match, there's no reason we can't do most of that stuff.
No, yeah.
Yeah, we don't
Yeah, I
need
agree.
ladyboy dancers.
100%.
We just
Yeah.
want
Yeah.
blades and stuff to practice
I'm
on.
They did bring the heat.
I don't know, man. The ladyboy dancers were pretty cool. They brought the heat, for sure. They brought all the heat. I got more
How many did you
ladyboy
see
questions
in
in
your
my
tenure there?
DMs than I ever thought
How
I
many
would
did you see while you were there, Trevor? You were there a lot
in my whole life. Oh, dude. I'll be honest with you, if
I
I
only
would have
saw,
counted, my brain would have hurt. There was a lot.
And
it was
I only saw like either 3 or 4. And
Go
then
ahead.
It's like when you saw the person, you couldn't mistake it for anything else. Like, oh yeah, that's definitely what that is. But probably saw a lot more that you just don't realize because they do a very good job of converting. Yeah, I'm sure. But
You saw
I guess
hundreds.
I only saw 4
You just didn't know
badly
it.
composed ones. How about that?
Yeah. Yeah, I remember. I'll tell you a funny one, man. We were walking through. It was me, Elias, Chris, and a few of the other guys. We were walking down Walking Street, and we ran into one of the foreign shooters, and he was chatting up a lady boy. Didn't know it, and I looked from the side, and from the side, I could see that dirty little devil right here. You know, that little Adam's apple. And I walk over and I acted like I was friends with him. And I'm like, hey, man, how's it going? I kind of pulled him over and I whisper in his ear. I'm like, that's a man. And he goes, what? And I said, look at the throat. And he goes like this. He lifts her chin up, does this, and goes, God damn it, and turns around and walks away. I almost pissed myself. I wish somebody would have got it on video. Oh, dude, it was great. But we had a good time. Yeah. Did y'all go any of the more nefarious places?
To get to the beach from our rental, so we saw the sights a couple nights.
Oh, y'all were staying on the other side of Walking Street
more
and had to
inland.
walk through it to get to the beach? Did y'all walk through it at like
we
about
were there
10,
during
11
the
o'clock
early
at night, or were y'all
bird
walking
like
during the
around, 8 or
daytime?
9 o'clock.
Oh, yeah. Before it really
the,
gets popping.
I guess what would you even call them? The pimps there are like very insistent though. They are like they don't give up. We were trying to like.
I think they're more like promoters.
Promoters? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what their
That's the Thailand equivalent of the dude standing outside the car wash with the giant dollar bill sign, like spinning it around and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Have y'all been to Vegas, right? You seen little guys with little cards?
Yeah.
Those were the ping pong show.
And
Ping pong show. His little menu. They stick it in your face.
Sir,
They put it like right here.
Sir.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm trying to look at my phone right now. Like just get it out of my face. But you gotta kind of look. It's like you gotta kind of at least see what the options are. Just for a second. No. If you can't,
don't lie, y'all
totally
water, went to one.
If you can't
it's all
trust
good.
the water in a place, I don't know how you can trust that.
That's true.
That's true. That's true.
Hey man, you gotta live life to your fullest potential. All right. Although the water thing got me because I was brushing my teeth with that shit for like 2 weeks before someone made me aware you weren't supposed to.
I didn't drink the water, but I remember like the first day I brushed my teeth with it, and I was like, well, if you get any bacteria, it's like whatever. So I was fine though.
I'll tell you another rule, Trevor: never toast that no one got sick until you're on the plane and home.
Yep.
Literally hours before we got on the plane, we had a toast.
What did
no
y'all
one got
do?
sick, and then me and Mason dropped out hard. Literally, like an hour later, dropped out hard.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm glad. I mean, it was after the match, but.
Oh no. Was it? Did
I
y'all
was
leave
leaving
right
that
after
evening?
like the day after the awards?
That was the plan.
Or did y'all stay a little bit?
Ended up spending another day, but I think Mason, Kate, you guys were leaving in the morning.
Yeah. It was, so we stayed the day after the awards, and we were leaving like 9 a.m. the following day.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you gotta
Yeah,
wait until
rookie
you're
mistake.
at home before you make that toast, guys. Especially when like 5 people had to leave in ambulances
that
at
was
the
that was
freaking
bad.
award
one thing they did
ceremony.
not nail, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, they had amazing medical staff at the match, just walking around, ambulances.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like 20
And
ambulances.
let's put 1,500 people on this site, not have anyone.
Hey, dude, that was clutch. Let me tell you how clutch that was. On day 2, when I hurt
Yeah.
my back, I was considering just packing it in. Like it was that bad. I was talking to Troy about it. Troy was like, "You don't look good, dude. You look like you need to go." And I was like, "I'm not fucking leaving. I'm not fucking leaving." And the ambulance staff came over and were like, "We got you, bro. Take this and this." And I went, "Okay." Took them, and then like 30 minutes later, I'm like, "I feel great. What was that?" And Troy goes, "Pretty sure that was muscle relaxers and pain medication. Be careful." I'm like, "Yeah, buddy, here we go." So that was my routine in the morning. I'd go by the ambulance and be like, "You got my shit?"
Got any of that pain pills?
Yeah, you got any of that stuff for daddy? Need some help here. But dude, having them there was clutch. And then I saw one dude just shattered his leg and walking, not doing anything crazy, running on a stage. His
Whoa.
leg just went like, this is how it's supposed to hinge. It went ka-dunk. And dude, that ambulance was there in like 13 seconds flat. I feel like they were waiting. They were just like, "Okay, go," and then they were on him. And that was one of the South African guys. He apparently had to go to the hospital, get it braced up, and then they put him on a plane, and he didn't
probably
get
for the
surgery on
best.
it until he got back to South
Yeah, I
Africa. So that had
I
to be a
didn't
shitty
hear of any
flight.
major medical
Yeah,
issues
yeah,
during
yeah,
the
yeah,
match,
yeah.
other than like some of those like athletic type issues. But I didn't hear of anyone like getting seriously wounded. It was pretty safe.
No, just that one guy.
Yeah.
That one guy with his leg, and then we
Yep.
had a few people get a little dehydrated
That's
from what I
easy to
heard.
do.
But that was simple. I mean, they
Yeah, I know
just
some
put fluids in
people
them,
got
and
sick
I think they
during the
finished the match. So
That's rough.
yeah.
You don't
Yeah.
really have time to recover in that format.
No, man. The first day I've been playing sports my whole life, so I know the early stages of dehydration. As soon as my arms stopped sweating, I went, "Oh fuck." And I ran to the 7-Eleven, which was like 100 meters away, and grabbed a bunch of stuff, and then I was good to go. But think about like if they didn't have that, that's another like accoutrement to the match, is that in other world shoots, I don't know if they had a setup like that, but if you were down and out, you were screwed. You had to have somebody go get you something. But
Yeah.
here, you could take a small little walk, and you had everything you needed right there. It was so awesome. Yeah, it was definitely a huge benefit. But yeah, I'm
You gonna
excited
do
for
Greece?
South Africa.
Oh, yeah.
Get to see you DJs there.
Next September.
This, yeah,
When's Greece?
yeah. Following winter, I think September.
Breaking.
But it's they do the regionals kind of like throughout the years after the World Shoot. Like we did Pan American this year, which usually precedes a World Shoot, but I think European Championship. So I asked Yemin to get some slots going, so I think he'll work that when he gets back. But that'll probably be a really big match and run really well. I think September, right?
September,
Kate?
it's,
There.
Late
When
September?
is it?
the only kicker is I think the first.
It's the week after Open
Yeah, it's
Nationals.
the week after Open Nationals.
So you'd have to do a funky schedule for Open Nationals to be able to do both.
Yeah.
Sounds spicy, Trevor. Do it. Yep.
think I
That's
can make it
good. That's
happen.
gonna be a good match. Think about it. Look into it. I think that's gonna be a big one.
Yeah.
Honestly, man, if it's like this
Well,
one, it might be worth going to that instead of Open
I mean,
Nationals.
you
Shit.
saw how well they did with the Pan American match. It'll be just like that, only in Greece.
So, something that's being talked about too is
Yeah.
opening up major
Yeah,
level 3 or level 4 matches for IPSC to count as points during a points year. I would actually be really excited for that. You know, traditionally we do it, for those that don't know, IPSC Nationals and then USPSA Nationals. You can shoot 4. You need at least 3. They drop your lowest if you shoot all 4. But it would be cool if people wanted to go to like Extreme Euro or a higher level IPSC match, where it's probably going to be hard to get good points, you know, but if you did pull it off and get it, you know, you might be able to save money and not have to go to an IPSC match in the States, you know. So I actually think that's pretty cool and would inspire more people traveling for more international matches, right? Because at the end of the day, what it really comes down to is our time, you know, work, family. You gotta prioritize all those things. And I think a lot of people, I'm always encouraging people to shoot international matches, because it's all the greatness that we have in the States. You just get to experience it with a different culture, you know.
A lot of people that you talk to, they're like, "Oh, well, I shot IPSC Nationals, and that was like nothing to really write home about." And it's not the same thing at all. It's a completely different experience to shoot a properly composed IPSC match by, you know, native IPSC shooters, and B, travel to a match and get the experience of getting outside your comfort zone. It's an experience you're not going to get by really almost anything else you can do inside the U.S. It's cool, good to do if you can swing it.
Yeah, like I said, we had that discussion. I'm going to try to get like 4 or 5 international matches a year going, because I'd be honest, I used to do all the area matches and then nationals. I'd rather do 2 or 3 area matches and nationals, and then 3 to 4, maybe 5 international matches, because that's just the level of
Extreme Euro
match
was
is
still
so
to this day
much
my
different.
favorite match of all time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just
awesome.
You know,
I'm going.
10 stages,
I'm signed up,
half-day
squatted.
format,
I'm
run
going.
very well. The weather was great there. You didn't have to fight the humidity or heat.
The town there too. The town is
Sounds
incredible.
fun.
Like
the town is cool.
It's just walking everywhere. The great food.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to pick your guys' brains about that, because
I've
going,
been 3 times
and
now.
I don't know anybody going with me, but I know I'm going.
I went
so.
twice. I think Nash you went
once.
right?
I'll go after Greece, so I'll go not this coming season, but the season after.
It was getting to the point there, which we absolutely love the match. If we had like unlimited funds, we'd go every year. But it was getting to the point where we literally didn't even use a GPS in the town. Like, we knew where everything was, and it's like, okay, we've lost the uncomfortableness of traveling abroad. We need to switch it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's when you know. You've been doing it right. Yeah. When you're like, I know exactly where I am. Yeah. That's how I was getting in Thailand. Being there for 21 days. The last week, people are like, "Where do you want to go?" I'm like, "Hey, let's go to this restaurant. Where's it at? Follow me." And I just
that's a long time.
That is a long
it was
time
too much.
to be away. I was itching to get home after like day 8. Once the match was over, I was like, I miss my dog. I miss my cat. I want to go home.
Once we ran out of episodes on Cart Narcs, I was ready to go home.
Oh yeah.
I usually never let my dogs in the room when I'm doing the podcast, but I couldn't help myself. I've been away from them for too long, so I let them in. They're like, "What the hell's going on? Dad's letting us in the room when he's on that damn podcast?" Yep. Because I never know if they're just going to start barking at random shit.
Especially like right now when it's, Christmas season, so of course like the Amazon driver's pulling in every 5 seconds to like drop off whatever you bought. She's like, just loses her mind, and I was like, oh my god, don't do this during a podcast. That's not good.
All right, Trevor. I'm going to sign out
Yep.
a little late, but I got to get
Yeah,
my
for
Christmas
sure.
tree up.
But
Thanks for having me on.
all
Let's
right,
talk again.
brother. Yeah,
All right.
yeah. Go
Kay,
ahead, man. It was
Mason,
good
talk to you
seeing.
later. I'd like
Hey,
to
brother.
Yeah,
talk
Thanks
to you
talk to you
guys
later,
when
for
you
Jack.
get
coming on.
close. All right, bye.
Yeah, we'll FaceTime you.
All right, cool. Bye. See you,
See
Trevor.
ya.
Oh, well, I imagine you guys
Yeah, we're
are.
about an
How
hour.
far away are y'all from Phil?
Yeah.
Oh, damn. So
30
y'all are
minutes
going to be
in.
in the
Yeah, I
car for
think
a while, huh?
we're probably 30 minutes away now.
Well, I'll let you guys get back at it, but I can't thank you enough how awesome it was to not only get to talk to you
Thank you
guys
for all the
afterward, but
help.
also have you
Yeah,
guys there, see you guys
thank you
there.
for
You know,
delivering
we didn't get to hang out a
bananas
whole lot,
and
but
oranges.
Man, yeah, you're
Yeah.
great. Very, very good team player. Very much appreciated.
oh man, it's
Awesome. Thank you, Trevor.
it's how
See
I
ya.
roll, baby. I know
Bye.
you guys will do the same. Thank you guys. Bye. Awesome people. Awesome people. It was great having them. Great having them on the podcast. Great talking to them, and great seeing them there. I mean, some of the best ambassadors for the sport. The way that they carry themselves on the range, the way that they carry themselves off the range, how friendly they are with everybody. It was really cool. I got to really see some of the U.S. shooters in a totally different light than I'm used to seeing. Just the way that they handle themselves, the way that they handle the pressure, the way that they, react on stages, just in regular everyday things. It was really cool. I was really impressed. I mean, the U.S. crew as a whole, it was really cool to be a part of that. It was cool to travel with those people, and it was just cool to be a part of this just crazy awesome event. I can't thank Ghost enough for making that happen because they're the ones that made it happen for me. But hopefully next time I'll be there, on the U.S. team. Maybe if I can figure some shit out with my shooting. But I feel good about the way I pulled the trigger. I wish I would have been more physically able to do what I thought I was capable of doing. But that's life, that's sports, that's how it works. For some reason, at the biggest matches, I tend to be unlucky. Nationals now 2 years in a row, and then now this match, I just didn't get to pull it off, didn't get to shoot how I wanted to shoot, didn't get to do what I wanted to do. But hey, that happens, man. Some people chase this shit forever. Look at JJ. JJ chased a world title for 30 some odd years and just finally got it. So I always say, never let the small stuff slow you down on the way to the big stuff. It's always just keep cranking because everybody's going to tell you can't do it, but you know in your heart that you can, and that's all that matters. So I'm happy with my shooting as a whole. I'm going to bring in a non-world shoot competitor, see if he'll jump in here just because I miss his face, and I know he's going to be in South Africa with us for sure. So maybe he'll jump on here if I can talk him into it. Let's go, buddy. Hop in here. You know you want to. Let's make it happen. You might be busy. Been trying to get Brian on here, but for some reason, Instagram has been cock blocking me this whole time. It's getting quite annoying. It's not letting me add people. It's like on and off. We might as well go ahead and wrap this thing up. We're at 2 hours and 17 minutes, and I'm sure you guys are tired of hearing me talk. So, oh, nope, hold on. False alarm. Maybe. See here. We got some stuff here. What's going on? A couple of people just tried to jump in. Maybe it'll let them. I don't know. My G's been acting up. Let's see here. Hey, there we go. What's up, man?
I had to log off and
finally
update
updated your Instagram app, huh? Hell yeah, dude. We were just about to call it a day, and I was all depressed because I was like, man,
we
this
just got
episode's
back last
ending way
night.
too fast. So
Yeah, just last night. But yeah, we stuck around. We went to Phuket for a week.
Just last night?
Did you?
Beautiful,
Oh, see,
amazing,
you got to do
absolutely
some of the
gorgeous.
real
It's
sightseeing. How was it?
completely
How was
different than
Phuket?
Pattaya.
Yeah, Pattaya is cool and it's really
No,
neat and the food's great
a
and
completely
blah blah
different
blah blah
vibe.
blah. But
Phuket,
picturesque,
way
it
more chill.
isn't.
Definitely more of a vacation spot. We had a blast. It was great.
Oh yeah, man, that's awesome. I'm I'm excited to see
Yeah,
where Morgan goes in this sport, dude. I'm telling you, that kid, I don't know what the hell you're
yeah. The kid's
feeding
crazy.
her, but
She's absolutely nuts.
you need to bottle it, send some of it my way.
Yeah, yeah. It was,
You shot good too though, man. I
you know,
mean,
of course, not happy. And like you said, none of us are happy with how it shot. Like I'm happy with the finish, but good Lord, I was over confirming everything, and that's why I mean, I was looking for alphas, and I mean, because you need them, and it shows you how much you need them. Because I was over confirming absolutely everything, and still played well.
yep. Yeah, you placed really well,
I'm
man.
old,
And I
dude.
mean,
I'm
you're a younger
46.
guy. You're not even close to senior.
Uh,
How old are you?
I move like a
Ah,
senior.
get
Are
the
you
fuck out
kidding
of
me?
here. You're not even
Good
close to
night.
senior yet. You got a whole nother world shoot before you're a senior.
Oh, it was amazing.
But
Absolutely
what was
amazing. It
your
just
what was your
first class.
overall opinion
Everything.
on the
They
match?
pulled out all the stops. Loved it. Yep.
Was was this your first world shoot? Okay, great. You and me both. What was going through
Uh,
your head? What were your
yeah,
like first
yeah.
match
So
jitters
virtually
when you
none.
stepped
Like
up to the line for the
absolutely
first
none.
stage?
At first, like I don't know. It's something that's happened in the past year or two where I just don't really get nervous anymore. But on the first stage, after make ready, I make ready. I'm sitting there and I get, "Are you ready?" And it just freaking hit me. Like, holy shit! I'm at the world shoot. I'm about to shoot. And I just said, "Lock it up, Kevin. Just lock it up. Let's go." So it was about 2 seconds of nervousness, and that's it. Yeah, but it
And
was
then the
cool. It
buzzer
was
went
like that
off
was
and
a
it was
crazy moment.
automatic.
That
That's
was just that
crazy,
two
man.
seconds. Like, holy shit. So it was a blast. Yeah, loved it. Loved every minute of it.
It's huge, man.
Like
It's a
as soon
big
as the
deal.
shooting was over, like she was upset. She's like, I don't want it to be over. I don't want it to end.
I felt the same way, man. When I finished my when I was unloading and showing clear on my last stage, I had this like slight depressed feeling where I was like, damn, like we're done. Like it was and I knew how long I was gonna be there, and I was like, dude, I
Yeah.
wonder if I could just like borrow a gun and shoot a different division and shoot the main match
Yeah. No,
too.
for us, so it
Be
kind of sucked.
selfish with
We
it, but
finished. We shot it 5 days straight through. Our off day was the last day, so we didn't think anything of it at the time. But after shooting, realized like, crap, we're not going to be there for the last day, and you kind of miss out on that. Yeah, so it was good. I mean, like
yeah, that's a weird
besides
schedule.
not being there for the last day to kind of say, goodbyes and hang out with everyone and kind of just relax. It was a really good schedule. I have no problem with it. Shooting 5 days straight is great. I mean, like the men's open team, their off day was the second to last day. They shot 4 days, then a break, and then like, come on, that's terrible. You just want to get it over with at that point. So no, the schedule was
That
fine, and
that would
fortunately,
suck. Yeah,
yeah, the shoot offs. We did the shoot offs that Saturday, and that was kind of closure of the match, and that was really nice. And that was a lot of fun.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I wanted to go to the shoot off, but
You should have gone.
we
Next
had
time, go
other
because it's a
plans, and I
completely
don't remember
different
what we were
atmosphere.
doing.
It's a party. It's crazy. They
Oh
had
yeah,
low
yeah.
riders out there blasting music for the shoot offs. They had announcers. I mean, it was nuts. Stadium seating. Everybody was there. It was really fun.
Yeah, I'm pissed I missed it, but hey, it is what it is.
I'll be there for the 2017. Well,
25.
hopefully, I'll maybe be shooting or the 2020, the one in South Africa. Yeah, 25. But hopefully,
Yeah.
I'll be shooting
No,
in
she loved it.
for that
That
one.
was her first
But
shoot off.
I know
She
Morgan will.
absolutely loved it.
3
That was
years.
fun, and that was like for her. That was her first opportunity to kind of shoot with the other lady she was shooting against, because we were on a completely different schedule.
Yeah. Yeah, it was crazy
Yeah, she does.
how composed
No,
she
it
seemed through the
doesn't
whole
really.
thing.
She stays calm.
Didn't
She's
phase her.
handles that very well.
Yeah, it was nuts because I was going around checking on all the teams, just seeing if anybody needed anything, checking how people were doing. And not everybody who was on the teams was doing that. Some people you could tell the pressure was getting to them. It was mounting. They were tired. They were hot. They were sweaty. They were, missing home, whatever. You could see it was all phasing in on just like a big cloud. But you walk up to her and she's just like, ready to go, do, 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 do. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ, this kid's just bouncing around. And then to see her win was absolutely nuts. I mean, you were the same way. I don't think I ever saw you not smiling.
It's fun. I mean,
You're just like,
you have to have fun with it.
We're here, baby. Let's go.
I take it less serious than I used to, and I'd probably perform better if I took it more seriously. But it's fun.
Yeah, it was awesome. What was y'all's favorite part?
So favorite part,
the trip
yeah, definitely
the
trip to
shooting?
Phuket. We did a lot of cool stuff there. We went rented a sailboat, went island hopping, and that was awesome. That was a great day. Went snorkeling, sailing around.
Damn.
Just getting out, enjoying beaches. It's beautiful over there. That was nice. We went zip lining through the hills there
That sounds
in the canopies.
like fun.
That was a blast. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, absolutely.
Dude, y'all had like a mini vacation after the vacation. Hell yeah. That's nice, man. That's a good time.
Range was great.
What
dude.
did you think
fantastic.
about the range?
Like that only negative thing about the range was the weather, the humidity. We live in a high humidity area, but good night. That humidity and heat is just different there. It's rough. Yep.
Is different. I live in Houston.
Yes.
Y'all live in Louisiana,
Yep.
right? So we're in probably the most humid parts of the U.S.
I don't know how.
Not even
I
close.
don't know how, but absolutely that.
The crazy part, you talk to the locals and they're like, "Oh, it's
Can you
winter time."
imagine summer?
You're like, "What did you just say?"
No, that was rough.
Yeah, it's winter time. This is cool.
Lucked out with
Oh,
weather.
hell no.
We really did. Yeah, we had some overcast days on the PM schedule. We had mornings. We lucked out with weather a lot, and it was still miserable.
Yeah. It was still like not a lot of rain.
I think very little.
Did we get
Maybe
any rain in the main match?
one of the AM schedules got a little, but not us. No.
Maybe, yeah. But dude, the weather was cloud cover, nice breeze.
Yep.
Didn't matter. It was miserably hot and miserably humid the whole time. That was my only part of the match.
Yeah, dude, the
where I
range was
like,
amazing.
that
The
part
surface
sucked.
was
The rest
perfect.
of it,
It was
top
consistent. Bays were nice. The setup with the 7-Eleven was nuts. That was really nice.
Yeah, the food, man. The food at the range. So damn good. To have a
Yeah, the pad
KFC,
thai.
a Chester's chicken. They had a wok station. They had the pad thai. They had a mango sticky rice station. They had a coffee station. They had a smoothie station. They had an entire
It
fucking
was great.
food court in the middle of the range. It was the coolest thing
The
ever.
bar set
If South
pretty high,
Africa
right?
doesn't do that, I'll tell you right now, bro. You can. Yeah, that bar is
No,
up
they
there, bro.
got
To
it.
be able to top
They can
that,
do it.
I don't know if South Africa's got that in them. I just don't see it.
No, yeah.
I don't know what the
No, it's
7-Eleven
not.
situation is in South
But I
Africa,
was
but I
surprised
guarantee you
they
it
didn't
ain't what
jack the
it's like
prices up on
there.
that either. That was really shocking to me because anything associated with the match was expensive. But like the 7-Eleven, those were regular prices, which was dirt
Yeah.
cheap.
Dude, I'd go in, get like 5 drinks, you know,
Those are so
I'd
good,
get a water, a
right?
Red Bull, one of those vitamin C drinks, a green tea, and oh, dude.
Right.
But I'd get all of that, and it'd be like
$3.
120 baht, which is like,
Yeah.
yeah, like literally. It was crazy. It was crazy. It's like, hey, I'm in on it. And then the food, 60 baht.
Yep.
Like, what? Okay. Like $1.75. Let's go.
Yes.
But yeah, it
That
was pretty cool, man.
yeah, that was huge.
You had your family
I
there.
mean,
How cool was
just
that to be able to
share the
share that
experience.
experience?
Also, it just made it a lot easier. We couldn't have done it, I think, without them. Not as comfortably. Like having my wife there, running to get drinks and make sure we were taken care of because of the heat and humidity. I mean, it was rough. And she was taking care of everybody in the squad. We had several people with food poisoning in our squad. I don't know how they did it. I really don't know how they shot. So we got food poisoning on our return trip, and I'm telling you, oh, dude, Morgan right now, she's sleeping, laid out.
Did you?
My son just got back from the hospital. We had taken him to the hospital this morning to get IV. Yeah, no, like we got it bad.
Holy shit!
Last day,
I didn't know that.
Airport food in Bangkok.
Where'd y'all get it from?
Flying back from Phuket to Bangkok, we had to eat at the airport. Goddamn dumplings got us. Yep.
Damn dumplings, man.
Yeah,
Dude, people got food poisoning at the awards too. A lot of people. More people than I thought. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
shit. Yemen left in an
my son and I,
ambulance
we had it on the return trip, the whole flight. 30
This
hours
is bananas.
of being sick in the airplane bathrooms. It's terrible.
That's like the absolute worst place to get food poisoning is on a fucking airplane. When you're on when you're on a 30-hour
I thought
airport
we were
trip
in Japan, in Tokyo.
Oh,
I really thought
man.
so. He was throwing up on the plane, like he couldn't even make it to the bathroom. So they see this, they start taking his temperature mid-flight. All right, from Bangkok to Tokyo. We get to Tokyo, they won't let us get off the plane. They held us on a plane, had a quarantine officer come in to check him. All right, they didn't even know I was throwing up in the bathroom. So they're checking him, and my wife's convinced him, like, look, it's fine, it's food poisoning, let us go. Unfortunately, he didn't have fever. I think if he had fever, we'd probably still be in Tokyo. So we were very fortunate to get home, I felt like. Yes.
Jesus, man, y'all are lucky they didn't quarantine you because some of those places do not.
No, we really thought we were getting.
They
stuck
do not
there.
play with that. Yeah, I mean, we had like when you go through some of the security, like when we were in Taipei, they were like, no, you got to wear a mask. Like they were trying to take people's temperatures, and I'm like, dude, this would be the worst time for me to have like some kind of small cold where I got like a 99 or 100 temperature, and they're like,
fortunately,
hey,
he didn't have
over
fever.
there, walk in there, don't leave.
Like I know on the last flight, I started getting fever, and like coming on the long flight from Tokyo to Houston, like I had fever. Like, oh man, like at least that's the final lay. Like we're good. We're home free once we're on U.S. soil. I feel good.
Yeah. Dude, that sucks, man.
Yeah.
That absolutely sucks. It's shitty end of the trip, literally. But
it was awesome.
I mean,
it was
all
great.
in all, I mean, being
it
able to
really
share that
was. I
experience with
like
family
I said,
was
couldn't imagine being there that long without them.
Yeah. It was doing that trip without your family sucked.
No, I can imagine.
I'll tell you that. Yeah,
Definitely.
I would have loved to have had
But
my
yeah,
wife
it was
there.
cool.
But hell yeah, man. Well, So what's next? I
Yeah,
mean, are y'all taking an off
we'll see.
season, or are
We
y'all
always
hopping
we
right
take a
back
little
into
bit
the
of time
shooting
off.
sports season?
So um, we never take very much, just because weather's always good here, and you miss it. Like, I mean, we just kind of, you let it happen. I've tried to force time off before, and like it sucks. So we just play it by ear. It's one of those times of year where we'll just let the day go as it may. We will plan on shooting, but if it's one of those things you wake up and you don't feel like doing it, we don't do it. You know, it's raining or something, like, hey, we don't force it. It's time to kind of take it easy and lay back a little bit. But
yeah, that's a very important thing. I mean, it's very important to realize that, because a lot of people get caught up in like, no, I gotta go train, I gotta go train. And if you're not into it, you're not feeling it, you're not going to get the most out of it, you know? So I'm taking I say off season. I'm going to Mexico on Monday when I get back on Saturday. Probably just going to hop right back into it. Probably take a week off, just go decompress. I'm leaving my work phone at the office. I'm turning my personal phone
cool,
off.
Well, that's what we did in Phuket, and
for a week with the wife.
We'll have this week off. So that's 2 weeks off, and that's kind of the longest we usually go.
Yep. Yeah. That's super exciting, man. Well, dude, I can't thank you enough for coming on here. I know it was a great experience for all of us, and tell Morgan when she's done throwing up.
The girl's great. It was funny. I went in there. She was feeling good last night. Like, it just hit her this morning. You know, fortunately, her and my wife are good on the flight home. But yeah, I walked in her room, and she's kind of just laying there, kind of passed out, and she's listening to one of your podcasts. I'm like, what are you doing? What are you even doing? She's like, I just listened to a podcast. I'm like, you're nuts. You're absolutely nuts. Yeah.
Chick's a savage, man. She's a beast. But go when you see her, tell her, hey, I was on the podcast, and
Cool.
Trevor said she's got her own episode with her
to
name on it right there on the whiteboard. You know.
No, she loves doing podcasts.
Ladies Open World
I know
Champion
she's looking forward to
episode
it.
right there. Boom. It's already marked on the calendar.
Oh my gosh, Trevor!
Yeah.
Come on.
How excited were you when she won?
Like, over the moon, man. It's unreal. I mean, I knew she could do it. I mean, you don't know all the talent in the world, but you have a good idea. And I knew her abilities. She went in confident. She knew she could do it. But there's a lot at play. I mean, it's 30 stages, right? I mean, you got 5 days of shooting. 30 stages, everything has to go right. I mean, you have to perform well. You can't get sick. You got to have you got to have some luck on your side. Things have to go right. So.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's a culmination of a lot of hard work and just a tiny bit of luck. And then y'all were on the family podium too, man.
Yeah,
How cool was that? You know, JJ almost took the place on that.
And that dude was sweating bullets. All right, that was hilarious. All right,
So I was there for the whole thing, and let me give a backstory real quick. We're standing there, and they're announcing you and Morgan, as y'all need to go to the podium for the family titles.
The table at the USA tables.
I don't remember where you were. I think you were.
Yes.
Yeah, you were way back in the far left corner. So Morgan's there. Me, JJ, Nils, I think Chris Tilley, a few other people, Drummond, and Morgan's like, where's my dad? Like, we got to go now, you know? So Nils goes, JJ, go with Morgan. And he goes, what? He goes, go up on the stage with Morgan. Go, go. JJ's like a deer in headlights. He's like, okay, I guess. So he's literally standing on the steps about to walk on the podium with Morgan and play her dad. And he turns around and goes, what am I supposed to do? And Nil goes, you're Kevin. Just tell him you're Kevin. He goes, wait, I'm playing the father? No. And we're like, just tell him go. And then the last minute, they're walking up the steps. You come running
He
in,
was
and
so
you're like,
nervous.
I
It was
gotta get it. And he's like,
hilarious.
oh, thank God. Dude, the pictures would have been
Yep.
epic. Oh, my
Yeah.
God. People would have been like, what the
That's
fuck
right.
is
They'd be
going
like,
on here?
no wonder.
Yeah. This all makes sense now. I get it. But dude, how cool was it to be able to stand on that stage with just a
Dude.
sea of people with your daughter
So
getting
yeah, that
those
was
medals
unbelievable.
and just
That's
holding
something
the
that
flag?
we
I
did
mean,
not know about until not like I didn't know that existed or anything. That's not something that we were
really?
like shooting for or anything like that. I think we learned on maybe day three or day four of the match that we learned that we had we were shooting with Team Brazil and in the Philippines, and they were telling us about it, like, y'all need to sign up, like, y'all are going to do really well. And so my wife went and registered. Morgan at first, she's like, well, find out, make sure it's not going to affect me at all with this, like, because right, she's like, because I'm not a junior, I'm not
Make sure you
classified as a junior.
screw up my ladies title.
Because it's for a junior and a parent. She's like, they don't recognize me as a junior because I'm registered as a lady. And, my wife went straight. They said, yeah, no problem, of course. So yeah, that was really cool. That was really cool. Yeah,
y'all got to get
no
those
doubt.
photos
They
framed. They
definitely
gotta go
will.
somewhere in the
That was
house.
exciting. I was like a deer in headlights. Sprinting last minute onto the stage. We didn't even have the flag. I was looking around the whole time, like, could somebody bring us a flag? But no, that was really cool. It's funny. The whole family commented, like,
crazy,
Kevin, you look like you didn't know what you're doing. It's like, well, listen. Morgan had like 4 other opportunities to walk up there. She had some practice. Okay.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
You're like, what the fuck am I doing up here? That was that I had a similar experience. I was sitting down at the U.S. table when we got there, just chilling, drinking some beer. I'm like, I'm prepared to just lay back, get a little drunk, eat some food, watch the homies, and then Jason from Ghost is like, oh hey, by the way,
Yeah.
we got to give out some awards here. And I'm like, okay, that's a you problem, not a me problem. And I just kept drinking my beer. And he goes, oh, no. I signed you up to do it. He's like, I can't do it. I'm in shorts and a T-shirt. You got to do it. You're all dressed up. And I'm like, oh, you motherfucker. So I go up there and I'm like, hey, I talked to Dino, who's his dad, the head of Iroa. And I'm like, hey, Dino, Jason told me I'm supposed to be doing this. I just want to make sure. Are y'all calling his name? Do I need to listen for his name or my name? He goes, no. He gave me your name like 2 months ago. I'm like, you son of a bitch. You knew the whole time. That's why you showed up in shorts and a T-shirt. You knew I was doing all your work for you. But going up there, you're just kind of standing like, hey, I'll just here, hand this trophy. There you go. All right, bye. But I almost got to hand... I was like really adamant that I wanted to hand the trophy to a U.S. shooter, and they didn't make it happen for me. I had to give it to the Italians during the. It was. I can't
Dude,
remember
how
which
much do you love the
ladies' team was
Italian
up there.
spirit, right? Unreal.
Dude.
Unreal.
The way that they
Yep.
sing their anthem when a shooter wins gave me goosebumps. Just a sea of Italians
I love it.
crowd the stage and they sing their because they only play, how much of the national anthem do you think they play? 30 seconds, 20 seconds?
For the Italians,
yeah, they play like 30 seconds of the national
thing
anthem
in
and you win
there.
an award, and then they cut
I
it.
love it.
Right? Oh no, they sung the whole damn Italian national anthem there. The Italians were in, bro. It was so impressive. And then there was another country who did it, I think, only for Grafel. I think it was France. They did it for just Grafel. But we got to do that for the U.S. in South Africa. We gotta do that. We got to tell all the American shooters got to stay for the whole damn awards ceremony. Don't leave. But we got to sing the national
I
anthem.
agree. I was really impressed by that. I was very jealous.
yeah. It was cool to watch, man. There was a lot of the
Yes.
camaraderie between countries and the pride that those people
Yeah, it was
had.
huge. We, like I said, we shot
it
with
was
the Brazilians, and the
unreal.
Filipinos, and they're awesome, awesome people. Loved it.
Yep. Yeah. I shot with the Thai. I shot with some of the Thai team, and then I shot with some of the Japan people.
I didn't know
and,
Japan had shooters.
Some of the,
I had so much trouble in Tokyo airport with the guns.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Yeah. They like.
Really?
I think it's very
That
hard
bad?
to own a gun or shoot a gun there.
Shit.
I had 7 police, peppering me with questions, like nonstop questions. But yeah, they wanted to know. Like I had all the paperwork and everything, but they wanted answers. I was having to flip through my phone. Like, no, legit, it's a competition here. I'm showing pictures of the match and the award ceremony and everything. Like, and they just kept asking questions to see if it all added up. Like they were doing a little investigation. No.
You're not even staying in Tokyo. That's the crazy part.
That's
Just
right.
Listen,
You don't
I'm
want
not
to hear.
even
I don't
gonna
want to
be
hear.
here.
Let's
Just
go.
let me
You
go.
don't want
This
my
is a
guns
Thai
here, so
problem.
let's put them
Leave
on
me
the
fuck
plane
alone.
and let's go.
I will say that I did a little bit of research when I knew I was going, which is why I flew EVA through Taipei. Because when we landed on the way there in Taipei, when we came off the airplane, there was a guy there, a sign, Cotter Lim, Yemen's name. We went, he just took us to a little counter, said, "Where's your paperwork?" We gave it to him. He went, "Check, check, check. Okay, go to your next flight." We were like, "Oh shit, that's it? Yep, all right, cool." And then on the way back, when I flew into Taipei, nothing. They didn't give a shit because it was going back to the U.S. They were like, whatever. And then I lost my Form
I saw you were
4457.
trying to get that
I'm
taken care of.
sure you've heard that on the group chat. Yeah, because when I flew in, I guess I showed it to them because they asked me if I had it when I got to Thailand, when I got to Bangkok. They asked me, like, let's see all your paperwork, even the ones you got to have going back. I showed them all. I guess they never gave it back to me because I put all my paperwork
So we had a
in the
bunch
same
of copies.
pocket. I
Like
don't
that's one
touch
thing
it. I
that we
zipped it
learned
up and it stayed
going in
zipped up
talking
until I left.
to Akita and Becky. Like you need a lot of copies. We put copies in with every gun. My wife kept copies of everything. I had multiple copies. Where we had a ton of copies that we could just hand out.
Oh, I had copies of all that shit. The only thing I didn't have copies of was the 4457 because I got it in San Francisco before I took off for my international flight. So I only had one copy of it, and that's the fucking one that I lost. So then I'm like, are they going to let me leave? Like, I'm hearing people are having all these issues getting out. So I called Atlas. I called Morgan at Atlas at what was like probably late as shit her time. She drove into the office to get me an invoice showing that the guns came from Atlas because I didn't buy the guns.
Right.
I don't have a fucking receipt. How am I going to prove that I bought them in the U.S.? They just sent them to me. So they had to go print off like an invoice, and then I had to do all this other stuff, and nobody asked me for shit.
Yeah, that's the only problem.
Nobody asked me for anything. When I got to the ticket counter, they said, "Show us your paperwork." I handed them the paperwork that I had. I didn't say shit. They looked at it. They went, "Okay, here you go. Go get your gun. We'll take you to go check in your guns, whatever." And then that guy didn't ask me for really anything. I handed him the paperwork. He looked at it. He looked at the gun. Boom. I left for my flight. When I landed in the U.S., I was like, this is where I'm going to have an issue. Nope. The guy who wrote my 4457 originally was the guy who checked me out. He pulled me in and he goes, "Oh, dude, I remember you. How was Thailand? Blah, blah, blah." I'm like, "Yeah, man." He's like, "Okay, cool." He's like, what do you need?" I'm like, "They sent me here. I got guns." He goes, "Don't worry about it. Just go." I'm like, dude, you know how I was sweating bullets, absolute bullets, thinking I'm going to have to like go through all this shit. I'm not going to be able to get my guns in. I'm in San Francisco. I still got to go to Houston. So my guns are going to get stuck here and I got to make it back to Houston. So now I'm going to have to deal with this.
The only time I had any issue was coming back home in Japan.
Thing.
That was it. Going there, no problem. Smooth, nice, easy.
crazy.
But coming back from Japan, they just, I'm telling you, 7 police officers there, investigators asking questions like crazy. Yeah. Yep. Dude, and like I was sick. That's time. Like I was not feeling well. I was dizzy, lightheaded, and I'm telling you, the whole time, Morgan was there helping out, and like I just wanted to sit down. I was like, I'm about to pass out. And Morgan's like, sit down. I was like, no. I sit down right now and tell them that I'm dizzy. Like they'll start asking me more questions. Like, what are we making you nervous? Why are we making you nervous? Yeah. It's like, oh shit, I just got to go.
Oh, you got guns and COVID. Double win. In Japan on Pearl Harbor Day? ?
I think it was.
That would have been funny. Oh. Jesus, man. Well, it's an experience. But
yeah,
do y'all have plans to do
any more
international matches?
Nothing
before the next World Shoot?
Yeah. Well, when
Dude,
and
y'all
where?
need to come to the Extreme Euro this year. Sign-ups just opened. You can still get in. I can get you in. But it's in the Czech Republic. I don't know when, but it's like, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
June
We got
seems about right.
Probably not. Probably not this year. Maybe next year. Try and do something international. Recover from this. That's too soon.
Yeah.
Oh man, no.
And there's the Caribbean Open, but that's in February.
So we'll see. We haven't made our whole schedule yet this year. It's weird. The matches are all kind of crammed together this year. It's tough. All the area matches are just like weekend after weekend after weekend.
Yeah, I that's what we were talking about. I think I'm gonna try to pack in some area matches, but I'm gonna try to go to I'm going to the Caribbean. I'm going to the Extreme Euro. I'm gonna try to go to another match that I think.
Oh man, you get the bug, huh?
Sweden.
You're hooked.
Dude, I'm telling you. I'll be honest with you, dude. I wish there was a way we could make US matches feel like these international matches,
completely.
Because they are different. They're different.
One, it's just the quality of the props. But two, the staying within fault lines. It makes it so much easier for stage designers to design good stages. That makes a huge difference.
Yeah, make it easier for that. And then also the way that they lay the stages out, the way that they lay the targets out. I love the 3-2-1. I love that it's more of a marksmanship test. Like we were talking about this when Christian was on here. If you can shoot blazing fast with little accuracy at a USPSA match, you can do some damage. Like you can outrun bad hits and still do some damage. Not here, not at these matches.
No,
good luck.
Yeah, you need the points.
Do you diddly dick if you're hitting a bunch of deltas.
Like I said, I overconfirmed almost every single shot, and still shot decent just because shot good points.
Yeah. Points are everything. If I wouldn't have shot good points as slow as I was moving, it would have been a disaster. I mean, it would have been an absolute disaster, but I was able to shoot good points and stay just fast enough to where I didn't shit the bed too hard and end up in this, like 70-some-odd%.
But makes it so much easier to design a good stage.
But yeah, it was.
And I tell you, for us, what I found interesting was the low cap made production optics interesting. That was it made those stages very different than probably what you experienced in open. You know how many 12-round stages they had there. A ton of 12-round stages. And you think, well, you got 15 rounds, that's fine. Sometimes 15 plus 1, not always. But of those 12 rounds, typically 6 were steel. And they were not easy steel. So, I mean, we were doing reloads. They were not easy steel. Also, just even the longer stages, doing reloads, you were forced into pushing it to 14 rounds or having to reload early and doing multiple reloads. So that became a big factor. And it was interesting to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun.
I would
It
have
was a big
loved to have
challenge.
shot this match low cap. Yeah, I was shooting the stages thinking that in my head, like, dude, if I only had 15 rounds, the attacking this stage would be 1,000% different. 1,000% different. Because for me, I think I did maybe 4 or 5 reloads through the whole match. You know, I mean, just didn't need to. But as I'm shooting them, I'm like, God, man, this would be badass low cap, you know, because it just forces you to attack this
there's
stage just
several
so
stages
much
that were
different.
relatively low round count where we did 2 reloads.
Yeah, it was cool.
And like, what was it in Zone 2? What was it? Like the last stage in Zone 2, where it was a chair start. You had like paper on the left, paper and steel on the right, and then the activators through the door. I mean, we reloaded going to each position. It was like nuts.
Yeah. Yeah, it was crazy because, I mean,
You had 4 steel.
You couldn't push the left and then not reload going right because you had the 3 small little steel plates. 4 steel, 4 small steel circle plates. And then you can't reload to that and then shoot that and then go to the door because you have a swinger, 2 paper, and another activator. You know, it was nuts. It was great stage
stages.
designs.
Like I said,
Whoever designed those stages,
the 12-round stages
was a beast.
were also, you never felt like you were shooting a 12-round stage. You felt like they were full stages. You weren't. I don't think I ever shot a stage and wanted more. Like, there just wasn't enough. They were all interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, which is crazy because some of them were really small. Like the one where it's like a L shape. You start in the front right, and you got the steel paper run to the back. You got the, I think, paper and then steel, and that activates the swinger on the right. And you got, I think, paper swinger. Right. That's a small stage. It's tiny, but it felt like a full stage because of the way that you had to shoot it and the way it flowed and the activators and the swingers and the way all the targets were placed. It was awesome. Like a small stage like that, if you put that at open nats, you know.
Yeah.
But the way they would make it in USPSA, you'd have to have 15 targets. It
was great. You know? And that's one thing that I kind of took away and noticed throughout the match is these small stages. I think we had a 10-round stage even, but they were great. Everything was great.
Yeah,
that's
the only stage that I wasn't a huge fan of was
if anybody
the
enjoyed that
stage.
stage. That was hard as shit.
Yeah, that one sucked. That one sucked.
Yeah, I don't know. Did he enjoy it though?
Who won the stage? I watched him shoot it. I don't think he enjoyed it, but he shot it like a boss. So he pulled himself. Did you watch it? He pulled himself all the way to where his waist was at the edge of the table, hooked his feet under those side pieces, put his body through the port, and just shot it all.
Yeah.
Just.
It takes a lot of core strength to do that, though, to hold yourself up
crazy
like that and be able to shoot.
Yeah. Yeah. Papa's not doing none of that shit. I could have done it with my back in good shape, maybe. But even then, if my foot slipped, I'm going ass over elbows. Right?
But it was, it was fun to watch. It was fun to watch people struggle on. It was shocking.
It was interesting. Even though that was my least favorite stage, it was still an interesting stage that brought in elements that you wouldn't normally see, that you had to shoot from awkward angles on awkward positions at awkward targets.
They did not make those
awkward object
on that
you know,
stage.
it was
that was nuts. Dude,
Nope. I feel like they designed it to shoot through a low port, like one position low port, and then they went, okay, great. Now let's put
all the movers
massage
on the
table and
stage
make people
on
shoot
that
through
match
that.
were insane. The movers were absolutely insane.
Yeah. Yeah. The moving circle plates, the moving monkey targets, even just the sliding swingers.
Yeah.
That was something I'd never seen, where it's sliding down a rail
stage 19
and swinging.
Oh, dude,
and it had no shoots. Yeah.
Yeah. So we were on that schedule.
No shoot swinger on a slider.
We shot it on Tuesday when it had like half the presentation of that target. That sucked. I mean, I think you saw the difference where they had on that one target, it changed throughout the match. Yeah, so they had
Yeah, I shot it pre-match.
like
And it
when
was
we
pretty
shot
tight.
it, like somebody posted pictures of the two different presentations that different people had, and holy shit, like that was the only target in the whole match. When I looked at the stage when we were previewing it during the walkthrough, it was like, okay, I might not be able to hit that. That might be a target I can't hit. That was the only time. Like that doesn't happen often. And when I saw that, I was like, and I mic'd it. Alpha mic'd it.
No.
That was tough.
It was a tough target. It was definitely a tough target, and they had two of those.
Yeah, but the other one was open
crazy.
enough.
Two
like
stages had that
so,
sliding, swinging, no
dude,
shoot
when we
target.
shot the like 19, there was like 6 inches of target, and that was over 15 yards away.
I think when I asked them, they said it was
yeah.
I think it came out to like 18 or 20 yards, something like that. So it's a 6 inches of exposure, no
Sliding.
shoot swinger on a fucking rail system that goes
the most
behind
insane
a
thing
metal
I've ever
hard.
seen.
It comes
It
out of
really
a metal
was.
hardcover and goes into a metal hardcover.
Yeah.
The only thing that
didn't
saved
help
me is the dwells. It did dwell,
That didn't help me, but
not long.
that was tough.
Not
That was the
long.
only target I was like, okay, I might not be able to hit it.
Yeah. Yeah, the only target that I looked at that I was like, the timing and everything was, you remember the mini target stage? So the mini swinging target, I knew when I came through that door, I was, I think, the first shooter on that. I went, okay, it's either going to be there when I finish this target or it's not. And if it's not, I'm fucked, because then I'm going to hesitate, have to go over here, and I might be late getting back to it. Well, that's exactly what happened. I went to this target, boom, the swinger came out. Or I went to this target, the swinger had already come out and was going away. I went, boom, sent one into the black, had to shoot this target, then come back to it. I'm like, God damn it. I ended up getting all my hits, but it was just like the timing. Only being able to walk the stage for 3 to 5 minutes and only getting to see the activator once, and you don't get to walk the stages at all other than that, was absolutely bananas. I mean, I figured out all the timing on the spot, and I mean, y'all saw the videos. Some of it was trial by fire. I was like, oh fuck, I hope this goes well.
That was huge. Your videos were huge, and that is, I think it was Becky that had sent Morgan a message saying, hey, what your experience with it after this match were a couple things that helped you in this match. And the two things she came up with was, one, Trevor's videos, having a high level shooter shoot the pre-match and take video, because that was huge. That helped. And the second thing was having a scoring delegate. Like, we had Bob Young on our squad, and that was awesome. And I'm sure you did the same thing for the men's open squad. Having a scoring delegate is absolutely huge. Just really,
I didn't have to diddly for those guys. They were on it. They were delegating each other.
Bob Young was with us, and man,
they had like 5 delegates per shooter, basically.
Just him being out there every time, it kept the ROs honest, and not that they would do anything intentionally, but they're scoring from 15 yards away, so it just held them accountable to make sure they were being a little more accurate with their scoring.
Yeah, I in the pre-match, when I was shooting the pre-match, I was shooting with the Thai team. Not a whole lot of English there. Some of the Japan guys and some China guys. One of the Chinese guys spoke pretty good English. But I very quickly learned after like the third stage, like, hey, when I get done shooting, it's like unload, show clear, and then I am walking with the RO. Like, I want to see everything you're seeing, just to be sure. And for the most part, it was pretty on point. There were a couple Charlies that were alphas and a couple deltas that were Charlies, but for the most part. And then they were honestly trying to be a little too generous on. I had 2 mics for the match. One was on the first stage of the match. I was the first shooter. I shot a fucking mic. It was on the monkey target. And I told you guys, hey, when you go through those beams, go directly to the monkey. Do not try to shoot everything in between it, because I learned that lesson the hard way. The other one was on, what was it? I can't remember where the other one was. I'm sure I can find it now. But on that target, the RO, like by the time I walked up to it, because I called a close delta, it was not a close delta. It was not even there. The guy had a
magnifying glass overlay. Okay.
What the hell is it called? Overlay. Yeah, he had an overlay. He had an overlay on it, and he's like, it could be, could not be, I don't know. And he's like, let's get some other opinions. I'm like, hey, dude, you're wasting your time. He goes, what do you mean? I said, didn't y'all just change the targets? He goes, yeah. I said, right there. It was just a little, tiny little grease ring on the outside of the target. It's just not enough to hit the perf. I'm like, it's right there. There's the little guy. He's like, oh, okay. So for the most part, they were pretty good, but there were a few where I'm like, that's a Charlie, not a Delta, or that's an Alpha.
Did you know in IPSC they allowed to score from the back of the target?
Not a huge deal.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's really it helps them. Yeah, it helps them in scoring, and especially with a double, or look at or looking at the perf.
I've had that bite in the ass a few PSA matches.
They can look at the back of the target, and so that's pretty cool.
That's how it should be, because I had can't remember which area match it was, but I had what I knew for an absolute 100% fact that it was a double. Like, I knew it in my heart. It was a 6-yard target. I was shooting stable and nothing else. It was my last shot. Right there. I watched the holes, and they were like, no. And then when we got done, I made them pull the target. And then when they finished scoring it, I was like, hey, flip this sucker over. Now look. And they were like, oh, oops. I'm like, oh, well. So they have a lot of rules that I think we could use in USPSA. One, like the fault line deal. I love the fact that you can't run outside the fault lines. I think that adds such an interesting aspect to the shooting, but stuff like that.
Yeah,
and then there's some
neither
wonky
system
stuff
is
that
perfect.
I think, I like the idea. Yeah, I like the idea of not being able to dry fire. I like the idea of just load and go. I'm a fan of that. I think it keeps everything flowing. I think it keeps everything interesting. I mean, if you're having to get your game plan in dry fire,
I like that. I do.
You're not prepared anyway.
It takes a little while to get used to figuring out how bright to put your dot and assessing the stage. Like that is a challenge. You got to kind of look and see, okay, where's the sun? What targets in the sun? You got to know your dot. How many clicks up or down you want the brightness, because you can't take a sight picture on a target. So that took a little while to get familiar with that, and we worked that out in training. But other than that, I like that process better.
Yeah, I do too. I thought as a whole, man, this match was great. I would love for USPSA Nationals to feel like that. If it felt like that, I feel like if we could find a way to get majors here to feel like that,
so
I feel like the growth
I think you can, but you'd have to have one Nationals.
Would be astronomical.
Yep. Have one. I agree.
Which I agree with. Why have multiple Nationals? Just have 100%. One. Just have one big-ass Nationals in a spot that can host it. I think if you have to shoot multiple platforms for whatever reason, pick your favorite and go. It'll make it interesting, and it'll force people to have to make that decision and commit to a system, and then it'll also better the match like that. You could think of the budget for how many Nationals we have, the budget that we have for all those Nationals. If we were able to just combine all that, shit.
Right.
And we probably wouldn't lose money on the nationals because
Yeah, no,
we're having one match.
yeah, several of us talked about that, and I think that's
You
the
know?
answer.
Oh well. Yeah, it definitely is. Definitely is. But well, man, this has been a whole lot of fun. I can't tell you how excited I was to have all of y'all on and talk
Update
about
the
this.
app.
It was pretty cool that you jumped in here. I was trying to get you in here earlier, but it literally was telling me, a message would pop up and would say like he has to update his Instagram app. So that's when I posted in the comments. I'm like, he has to update his Instagram. Update your Instagram. And I couldn't get Jay in here either. I couldn't get Brian. I couldn't get my Instagram's been being weird, but yeah, dude, I can't thank you enough, man. This has been pretty cool. It was great.
It was awesome. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. This was fun. The match was amazing. Yeah, we miss it. We miss it already. So.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you, man. But this has been great, man. I know I'll see you guys around, and go give Morgan a hard time for sleeping through the podcast.
Yep. Yeah, I definitely will.
And rub your face a little bit. It'll be kind of funny.
Take care. Yep. Thanks.
Yeah.
Bye.
But dude, this has been cool, man. Thank you again for coming on, bro. Bye. Well, that's a wrap, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go ahead and end it there. We've been going for 3 hours and 10 minutes, so about on par with my normal schedule. But I can't thank you people enough for supporting me through all this. The amount of love and support that I got while I was there, when I was headed there, when I was actually on site, when I was coming back, was absolutely amazing. I did not realize the podcast had that many foreign listeners. I knew it looking at the analytics. It tells me all the different percentage of my viewership and what country it belongs to and individual viewers from each country. So I knew it was up there. I mean, I know this podcast is fairly popular, and I knew that there was a lot of people overseas that listened to it. But it was exhilarating to get to walk through and have that many people come up and thank me for it and tell me that they're a fan of the podcast, and got to sign some shit, and it was really cool. So I love that type of stuff. It makes me know that doing this isn't a waste of my time, you know. This is something I enjoy. I'm glad y'all enjoy it. If you know someone that you think would be a great guest, send them my way. If you think you would be a great guest, send me a DM. If you know something that I don't and you want to see something on this show, I am still very new to this. Send it to me. I will consider it wholeheartedly. And I can't thank you guys enough for making this possible. I've got some exciting stuff in the works for next year, not only with the podcast, but for my shooting personally. And it's gonna be a good year. We're gonna hit it hard. We're gonna hit it fast. We're coming out of the gate swinging with SHOT Show followed by Caribbean Open right away. We're gonna be doing a lot of international stuff. We're gonna be doing a lot of stuff here. I'm gonna try to get involved with maybe some sponsorship from the podcast, as far as the podcast sponsoring some stuff maybe. And then we're bringing on some new podcast sponsors. I've got a couple lined up. I'm working through the paperwork right now. So some great companies that want to get involved. We're going to make that happen. So some people you already know, some people you may not know. But yeah, it's been pretty cool. It was a cool experience. I met some awesome people. And I just feel blessed to have been able to use my platform to reach that many people, and then also go somewhere and see just how big this sport can be, how big it is elsewhere, and how big it can be here. Also, just to see the pride in everybody's eyes to be there and to represent their country was incredible. And the pride that I felt representing my country, you know, I can only imagine how the team guys felt, you know, and the ladies. I mean, it was an all around amazing experience that I will be forever grateful that I was a part of. And hopefully, you know, if you're listening to this and you want to get into the shooting sports, send me a DM. If you're not a shooter, I'll help you get into it. If you are a shooter and you want to know how to get better and you want to know how to move forward, I can put you in touch with instructors. I have a lot of friends in this business, and maybe I'll see you at a match one day.